What's going on, everybody? I am back for another episode of Random Rambling, and today I'm incredibly happy to have the man, the myth, the legend, the man behind BLACKTASTIC Media. What is going on, my friend?
Man, living life, man, ready for the new year.
I hear that, man. Oh, man, it's been a crazy year. I can't wait. I'm hoping 2021 has a little more light than this year, man. It's been a rough year, man. But I feel like in a lot of ways, it's allowed me to get to know people, do all these collabs, especially the early part of the quarantine. You know, that's where we first started with our Undercover Brother collab, and we've
Man,
just
that
kept
was
chugging on since then.
that was dope. I enjoyed that a lot. That was dope.
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. So a big thanks to you for being on here. Anybody who's watching, if you have not seen Random Rambling before, basically just going to sit here and kind of talk, kind of like a podcast, but also a live stream. So if people pop in, we'll answer questions and talk to them. This is a good way for me to get to know Mr. BLACKTASTIC here. You said it's Tajia?
Close to Jaya.
Tajaya. Look at me. You just told me this right before the stream, too. And Tajaya.
Yeah, you fucking up already, man.
Yeah, right out of the gate, bro. Hey, this is the classic Anthony A. Perez quality content right here. Tajaya.
Hey,
All right.
I would have it no other way.
Hey, man, yeah, I've actually thought about doing like a video with all of my mistakes, like all the bloopers in between cuts. Now, you, sir, rarely have those, at least none that we see as audience members, because anytime yeah, dude, you have this natural way of speaking, this natural almost memory too while you're talking. Like, I love when we did, I think the first time I really noticed it, well, actually, I mean, I've always noticed it in your videos, but when I had you do the video for Undercover Brother with me, you know, we're talking about the exact same movie, and you were able to pull out every line and every joke and every moment that really that you remembered, and you were able to bounce around, think about all these different things, and like have a coherent like path of what you're saying, and you never had a cut. And I remember just thinking to myself, how does this man do it? And I think I've gotten pretty good over time, but man, the amount of mistakes I make, stumbling over my words, I talk pretty fast, so sometimes like it's just me like rambling, man. So what did you do to kind of like find that like just smoothness when you feel like in front of the camera? Do you feel any discomfort at all?
No, it started at a young age, man. I was born and raised a Jehovah's Witness, right? So my childhood was a trip. So at a young age, I would be inside the Kingdom Hall in front of hundreds of people doing Bible speeches. And you just learn. And I was really good in English. I had debates and stuff like that. So getting in front of a crowd, I was taught to look at the back of the room, but I'm good at interacting with people. And it's called an impromptu speech. So you can't rehearse. You go out there. And I'm going to tell you a funny story, man. My freshman year in high school, man, I had English. You know, you remember those book reports you had to do? Go home, read the book. Dude, I never read the book. I've always read the back of the book. And time comes to class, Mr. Antoine, your turn. I'm like, oh, shit, that's right. I grab a random book from one of my classmates and walk into the front of the room. As I'm walking to the front of the room, I'm reading the back of the book. Let's see here. All right, okay. Classmates, how you doing today? Fine day. Look at the weather. Now, this book here, I turned around, Socrates, whatever I supposed to have read. I'm like, this book is amazing. It's a 120-page book. I'm talking about everything but the story. And my teacher's in the corner doing like this, going, okay. And when this whole thing was over, I got a standing ovation. The class loved it. They thought I really read the book. And the bell rang to go to not recess, but the lunch. My teacher said, Mr. Antoine, to talk to you for a minute. The class was like, ooh, you in trouble. No one knew what was going on. And she said, I never forget her name, Mrs. Danks. I will never forget her. She said, sir, you have a talent. I know good and goddamn well you did not read that book. But I cannot teach in this class how to bullshit through life. That's a talent, and you better do something with it. You have a great voice. People listen to you. You captivate the audience, and that's something that's just given to like people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. She goes, do something with that talent. I need to give you an F, but I'm gonna give you an A+ because that's a talent I can't teach. And that's what I've been doing my whole life, man. I wouldn't read something, but I would talk about it, and you get really comfortable talking to an audience. And as a Jehovah's Witness, You know, man, I was giving Bible speeches, stuff. I did one called Jehovah versus Superman. Everybody was like, oh, that's blasphemy. My mom was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill this Negro. But when I was done doing that Bible study and using the verses of the Bible, it made coherent sense. Like, yeah, Superman can do everything that God can't, except a few things. They were like, bravo, black man, bravo. So just at a young age, man, I've been used to talking in front of a crowd of people, talking, BSing, and I'm real comfortable. So being in front of a camera is like natural.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's awesome, man. Yeah, like for me, I definitely don't have that rich of history. Like I would say, like I grew up in a Christian background, and part of that for me, I guess my part of that story, as far as performing and stuff, was I started with like playing the drums in like the worship team, and then I moved on up to then I started singing, and then I was in a band for years, and that's where I felt comfortable. Like I could talk to the audience, and I was doing my own thing, but I was up there with four other guys, or with the church, I was usually like in the back, or I was amongst other singers.
Right.
So I never had like this single light on me. And even when I was speaking to an audience as the front man of our band, I still had like, it felt like with having the other four guys behind me, it was like we were all speaking as one in a way. So when I started the channel, I mean, man, you watch some of those earlier part of my videos and earlier like phase of my YouTube channel, and it's just there's a lot of cuts, a lot of mistakes, and just I always still laugh at myself today when I'm just like watching the video to edit it, and I'm just constantly fumbling over my words. And like I said, I speak pretty quickly at times, and sometimes it works for me. I can get my thoughts out really, really cohesively and just straight to the point. And then sometimes I'm just like stuttering up like there's no tomorrow, or I just completely just can't even, I lose my train of thought, and I'm just staring at the camera like kind of blank, like trying to like remember what I have to say. But yeah, man, I've always admired that about your channel, watching your channel and then doing the collabs with you. I think it's like different doing the collabs with you, because when I watch your channel, it's usually something that you're like you were purposely making a video about. When it's on my channel, I'm asking you to watch something, a lot of times either really good or really silly sometimes, waiting to see what you say. But then you take it and you make it your own, and you take this whole story, like the one I gave you, the 13th year. I was just more like excited to see your reaction, because I knew I'm giving you this goofy mermaid movie.
That was a trip.
And the way that you told the story and your thoughts on it, man, it's just, you have a talent for this, man. Your teacher, which say Mrs. Danks, yeah, she wasn't lying to you, man. You definitely have a talent for this. So I guess I'll go ahead and jump into the next question that I usually start these off with. What got you into YouTube? What made you click create account?
Man, back in 2014, I started an account, didn't do nothing with it. I was just on there just watching videos once in a blue moon. Then 2017, December, which is actually 3 years ago, a couple of days ago, I launched my channel. What got me involved was John Campia, Tyrone Magnus. They love talking about movies. John Campia has knowledge, but I love Tyrone Magnus because he talks about movies from a Black perspective. I'm like, man, that's something I can do. John Campia built this big old thing on Collider. They were like the CNN of movie talks. I was like, man, that's really cool. But Tyrone Magnus sits in front of a camera, no particular background, just talks. And I noticed the difference. He has personality. When you have personality, you don't need lights, camera, action. You don't need graphics. People who don't have talent, but they might have a lot of knowledge, they need help to make the show go. They need either people to be on the show with them, or a table with a host. I'm like, I don't need none of that. I'm gonna go to Tyrone Magnus and just get in front of the camera and sell it with my personality, because I love film and I love music, and I love to talk about both of them. And in college, I went to film school, so I know a lot of technical stuff behind the camera. And people seem to go, man, big old black buff dude know about movies, whatever. I look like a jock, but man, I know a lot about film.
Yeah.
And I know the technical aspect. So when I watch a movie, I see it from two different perspectives, as a fan and as a director. And I said, you know what, man? I think I'm ready to start my channel. And I didn't know what to talk about. My first couple of videos, I was talking about a book that I'm writing about my brother. Then it got into like doing movie reviews. I'm like, I don't want to be like everybody else. Everybody does reactions. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And everybody sounds like somebody else when they're doing movie reviews. They're using the same kind of words and language. I'm like, nah, nah. But my favorite channel on YouTube is Double Toasted. They cuss. They're best friends from years ago. You see the camaraderie, and they're smart. Behind all that, cultural stuff, they're really smart and educated brothers. I'm like, that's what I want to implement in my channel. Show that you're smart, show that you have some knowledge. And the power of laughter and comedy is priceless, man. If you make somebody laugh, it's truly special. And somebody might be having a bad day, come to your channel, and you might change their whole perspective of that day, that week, that month, or life. So, and I fell upon just doing movie reviews. I got some funny stories because Rashad G, when we first hooked up, I told him a story in the comments about how I first met R. Kelly and played basketball against him. He goes,
Wow.
dude, I want to hear that story. Because of Rashad G, I started doing true stories. And dude, I met a lot of famous people. I got a lot of funny stories, and it took off. That was my biggest views of all of my stuff, the story about R. Kelly. So I had movie reviews, I did trailer discussions, not reactions, and kind of just had a whole bunch of categories. And then it's addicting. I love YouTube, man. I love sharing my experience with somebody else because I meet people like you. We look totally different, but at the same time, I feel like you're my brother from another mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, for sure.
And I learned a lot from you guys. And YouTube is like a brothership and a brotherhood across the United States. And we all share camaraderie together like we're just next door. That's what got me involved in YouTube.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love your passion behind it, man. And I've messaged you and Rashad and like Q reviews a couple times in these moments where I felt discouraged, and it's always been encouraging to hear your words, man, because you got a passion for this, and I feel you. It is addicting. There is this itch in you where, like, if you're looking at your latest videos, it's like 2 days since your last video, you're kind of like, all right, well, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do tonight to just have something. And sometimes the videos are just okay in views, and sometimes they do well. Sometimes they get a lot of views and they don't get a whole lot of comments, but sometimes they get, even like a lesser amount of views, and you'll get a lot of discussion from the people who did watch. So that is pretty great. And it has been great to watch your true stories and all that kind of stuff. Cause yeah, man, you have a story to tell. Even just you telling me about how you've come to feel so comfortable in front of the camera, the way you choose to tell your stories is great. And I'll use that to segue over to my next question. We're now a little over 2 months, or almost 3 months, since the release of your first film here on YouTube. How are you feeling? How are you feeling after all this time? It's called The Comforter, by the way, for anybody who's watching this. I did a review on my channel for it. He let me check it out early, which I'm still super appreciative of. I know you're working on a new movie. So yeah, I did check out the reception from people within the first couple of days to kind of see how people were responding to it, but I haven't gone back to check since. And I'm sure you've talked to people in person and all that jazz. So how are you feeling now when you look back at the project? How are you feeling? How's the reception been? Have you had any like criticism that maybe you don't agree with, or that you do agree with, that you feel like you could have maybe added to the project? I just want to know what you feel about it today, now that it's already been released with some time.
Cool. As a director or a writer, and you've been a musician, you know this. You're hard on yourself. Yeah. And in your mind, you have a level where you want to be at. Well, my first film was called Don't Look Back. I did that back in April, and my goal was to do at least 200 views. Well, it did 400, so that was a goal that I set and surpassed. Now I told myself with The Comforter, I want to double what my last film did. And did over 800 views. So that was the first technical part of it. Man, the reception has been crazy positive.
Awesome.
Because and the criticism, it was constructive. It didn't make me feel bad, but I did listen. I go, yeah, I can see their point. I'm not like, oh, this is my movie. You can't. No, man, you got to listen to people, especially people's opinion that you trust. You was very critical, and Rashad G, and you both was critical on the same part. Yeah, a lot of landscape. You take a little time here, and I admit, but you got to create a style when you do a movie, right?
Absolutely.
And me, I'm the kind of person, I want to make you patient. I'm going to force you to be patient when you watch my film. Kind of like Quentin Tarantino. His films are always long, a lot of dialogue, and it's like, man, when's the action going to happen? But you wait until it happens. And when you're a director, do you control the tempo? Like LeBron James running point for the Lakers, he controls the whole game. So my whole thing is in both of my movies, the beginning, boom, bam, bam, and hit you with a whole light, like, oh shit, I'm ready for this. Then I slow it down to a crawl. And I make you invest in the characters. I force you to pay attention to what's going on. The second act is always slow in my movies.
Yeah.
And then by the third act, it starts ramping up slowly. And all of a sudden, it goes bonkers at the end. And I think that's my formula. 2 movies, totally different, but the same type of tempo. And I'm like, okay, I think I found my formula. Hit them in the beginning with something to get their attention, slow it down to a crawl, and force them to invest. Force them to go, man, what is he doing? And I make you pay attention to the camera angles. And I really appreciate landscape because you're guessing, what city is he in? What state is that? Because every time I watch a movie, when I see the opening credits, I see buildings, I'm trying to guess, man, is that Chicago? Is that LA? Is that New York? So I want people to do the same thing. And then I get a lot of feedback. People goes, man, I never knew Sacramento had graffiti like that. I never knew LA looked like that. And I did a interview with Geekette's Chat, right?
I saw that.
It was cool to hear a female's point of view, totally different than my male counterparts, right? They were like, they love everything that the people was critical about. They love the landscape. They love the slow pace. I'm like, just a difference of opinion. So at least you know you're hitting the right beats with a general audience in different parts of the film. And man, I couldn't be more proud, man. I found my directing style officially with The Comforter. And I use a lot of stills. I got that from Spike Lee. I don't mind putting still pictures up. And as you being a musician, dude, I love music in my films. It's like a hypnotic thing going back and forth. And he also telling a story. And Rashad G said something to me. He said, man, I watched that movie twice. The second time with no sound, and I still knew what was going on in the film without dialogue. And I'm kind of old school. I want to be able to tell a story without having to use a whole lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
That's like classic film telling from a long time ago.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think you definitely pulled that off, man. And yeah, you know, it is interesting to hear that from a different perspective from, you know, those girls who interviewed you, that they liked certain things that maybe me and Rashad were a little more critical about. I love that. That's, you know, it's funny. I've just been having discussion about how I'm at a place now where I really don't care to really like argue with anybody about differences of opinions of movies. I love to discuss it 100% because I'm almost at a place now, especially with doing all the collabs, where I'll send a movie to somebody and then I like hope that they love it and then they don't, or it's a movie that I don't like but then they love it. You know what I mean? Or even with like Rashad, he'll have me watch a bunch of movies. There's some movies that he's given me that are like really great, like Menace to Society, like these black films that he's wanted me to see that are amazing. Or then he'll give me something like Crush Groove, which just didn't jive with me, but I understood why he enjoyed it. You know, like I understood the nostalgia for it, but I wasn't crazy about the film. And I just love the subjectiveness. Right now, we're all seeing that with Wonder Woman. I know that you weren't a huge fan of it, or at least I think that I haven't seen your review yet.
I didn't hate the film. I
haven't seen your review yet, so I'll be honest. I just based on your response to my video, but I loved it, and it is pretty crazy to see how split people are on it. Yeah,
it's real divisive, and I was surprised. But see, I don't read comic books, so I don't know the whole lore of Wonder Woman. Now, I watched the show back in the 70s and 80s, so I'm not really knowledgeable about Wonder Woman's character. But the storytelling in that film, Patty Jenkins, I wouldn't know that she directed that movie. It's like a whole different director.
Yeah, took a lot of risk. Different tone.
Yeah, it's a total, I mean, it's just from the opening scene until she got to the White House, to Cairo, dude, that was a long stretch without some action. And here I am telling people, be patient, slow it down, invest in the story. but the story for me wasn't compelling enough to wait that long. But Steve in the movie, loved it. I mean, he was one of my favorite parts of the movie, Steve Trevor being back in the film. But I
Yeah,
didn't hate it like everybody else.
yeah, it's kind of crazy to see it like the hate. I'm actually I didn't get to finish it because we timed it wrong, and my girlfriend had to leave for work right before we started doing this. But she hadn't seen it yet. I saw it I wanted to see it like the second it dropped, and she had to work. But she was watching it, and I asked her. We stopped right before the third act started. So like kind of just like a good place for her when she gets home tonight. We can pick it up again. And I asked her how she was feeling about it so far, and she loved it. Now, rewatching it the second time, I can definitely see these stretches of length, but I really enjoyed the character moments. I enjoyed the message of greatness not being what you may think it is, you know what I mean? And the idea of cheating to kind of achieve greatness.
Yeah.
You know, we see that with all three of our biggest characters in the movie. With Wonder Woman, she kind of cheats, you know, with this whole wish thing, she kind of cheats like death of, you know, the sacrifice that Steve Trevor made. You have Cheetah, obviously, she's, you know, cheated her way to greatness. And then the most prominent example being Max Lord, Pedro Pascal's character, being the main example of that. So I enjoyed that message. I think the first one by far is a better movie. Yeah, I think like I like the discussion around things people liked and didn't like, but then there's just like this. Again, I'm using all of this as an example, going back to what you were talking about with your film and the things that work for some people. It's like film is just so subjective, and it's now at this point just so interesting to me to hear what really works for some people and what really doesn't work. So it is interesting to hear that these criticisms that you may have heard from like Rashad and I were on a different end for certain people, which, you know, it makes me wonder how your films will be received when you have a much larger audience, which I know will happen.
Well, the thing about it, man, again, being a musician, as you have been, take the criticism as fuel and burn it positively. Because some people I notice, man, they do things on purpose because they're jealous, they're envious, and it comes out of spite.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot growing up, and my mom taught me that. She goes, look, not all of your friends are your friends, so be careful. And I listen to the criticism, but I can weed out what's real and what's fake. And no matter what, man, don't be diverted off your path. Because some people just want to see you fall. They build you up only to see you fall, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that watch you and I on YouTube act like they love us, and they really don't. And you got to be careful.
Yeah, it's true. I've definitely come across a handful of people that like. There's almost backhanded compliments, you know, to certain things, and you're just kind of like, all right, like maybe you didn't watch their video fast enough or something like that, but then they comment on your videos like the second it's uploaded, like 20-minute video, they comment in like 3 minutes, and then they kind of give you backhanded compliments later on about. It's just like, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
And so anytime you put something personal out, like, you know, we do a lot of reviews, but when you do your own art form and you put it out there, people are going to attack it. People are going to praise it. You got to just have thick skin. And you got to know what's real and what's fake, man, because, you know, YouTube is a funny business, man. I notice a lot of hate out here, man, that I never knew even exists. Because, like, in the real world, people see films totally different than we do. But people who like the behind the scenes and everything, we're just a small group of individuals online that tear things down or build things up. But the real world, they love Wonder Woman. They love Spider-Man 3. They love the worst superhero movie. They like Iron Man 3, where I didn't like it. Man, it made a lot of money, so it did something right.
Yeah.
It's a small group of people on YouTube like us that just sit there, you know, bitch and complain. That's all it is. So when you do something personal, the same thing's going to happen to you. It's happened to me. But you're a perseverer, man, because one thing I know about your channels, even the videos that do well or don't do well, your energy is the same in every video. And that's what counts. You give it your all in every video, whether it gets 50 views, 25 views. You're like, man, what? I don't know how to break the code. I don't know how to break the formula. YouTube's a trip. But everything I do, I give it my all. Even when I'm on your channel, dude, I get excited to record a video to put on your channel like it was on my channel. I take pride in it. And I like hearing comments from people I don't even know going, dude, that dude is funny. I like the way he tells stories. And it's a good mix. It's a good mix.
Yeah, for sure. I love having you on my channel too, man. And you definitely bring a level of comedy that I just feel like it's just natural to who you are. You know that I love, especially when you started doing these audio only collabs that you've been throwing in my way.
Oh
I love
yeah.
that, man, because you really have been able to like in the last one we did for A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child,
Oh,
arguably one of the
oh.
worst in the franchise. Um,
Dang.
you being able to tell your story about, just how you came across this movie, going on that double date, and the drive-in and all that. Like, I love that kind of stuff, man. And that's part of what I love about your channel. And anytime you're on my channel, I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, man, like YouTube is really this crazy gamble, right? Like you post stuff and you never know what's going to work. And I think the reason I always keep in mind that I need to be at the top of my game as far as my energy and my excitement for what I'm doing with each and every video is really kind of seeing the videos that have blown up. I don't know if you can relate with this, but like you'll see the ones that have blown up that you really didn't expect to, or maybe you kind of like given up on the fact that it did, or that it was going to, and then it does. And a perfect example for me is when my most viewed video is at, I think, like 43 something thousand views, and it's The Passion of the Christ. I did that
Right.
review. It had like 80, 90 views in the first couple weeks. I just kind of was like, all right, whatever. Easter and Christmas came around that year and it just
Yep.
shot up. And till this day, it's still my most viewed video. Another one is the Spiderwick Chronicles, which is like a Nickelodeon movie based on some books that I really enjoy. And I did a review for it. And I remember it hit like 30 views, sat there for weeks. And I thought to myself, man, why? Now it's one of my most viewed videos with a few thousand views. And another good example from recently was at the beginning of this year during the quarantine, I decided to rewatch X-Men Evolution on Disney Plus, an old animated X-Men show from when I was a kid. Watched it, did a quick little review on it, and it's almost to 1,000 views now. And it's just, and it wasn't anywhere. Its trajectory was not headed in that path when I first uploaded it. And it's
Right.
just this crazy thing. If you just continue to upload different kind of stuff and just be passionate about it, certain things are going to click, certain things are not going to click. So yeah, it's YouTube is truly this crazy gamble, man.
Yeah. It's like going to a slot machine and do 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 do, and you gotta wait to see what happens. Because my last video that blew up, I did a review on Public Enemy's latest album.
Yeah,
Man, I did it at work, up against a plain wall. Took a couple of minutes. I'm a Public Enemy fan, and within hours, it was at 4,000 views. I'm like, I put no energy into that video. Well, no real drama. Just talk about one of my favorite groups dropping the album. Dude, it's frustrating because I don't know the code to have successful videos after successful videos. Sometimes you hit it like a streak where, okay, I'm doing good. And one, you put all this energy into it and just like, And I see it with my friends' channel. We all go through it.
yeah,
So I don't feel bad. It's just like, man, I'm used to knowing how to crack the code, dude. I'm like a detective. I'm going to figure this shit out.
yeah.
And when you can't, you're just like, oh, well.
Yeah, you really do never know. Like even like right now, I did the Christmas morning. Woke up at 3 in the morning. Woke up at 3 in the morning. Watched Soul. Did my review for Soul. Uploaded it. Went to sleep. Woke up at 10 in the morning to go to the theater to go see Wonder Woman before it dropped on HBO Max. Saw the movie. Got home. Reviewed it. Uploaded my review. And now Wonder Woman has the most views, whereas Soul is just kind of doing okay. Like I thought Soul would do better on my channel, but you just never know which ones are going to do great. That's why I like doing collabs with you, because number one, I know that you have definitely you have an audience that really cares about what you have to say, and I put you through these movies that you would likely have never done on your channel, or at least they wouldn't have been at the top of your list. But even something like Beaches, I knew Beaches was a perfect one I wanted to do with you because on the surface level, a chick flick, right? Like on the surface level, like a movie for the ladies that a lot of guys would probably brush off. And I thought, how funny to have two grown guys just talk about beaches, and for both of us to have loved the film and talked about how emotional it made us. I love to see that video went over 100 views, and I'm sure it'll continue to get more. And it turned out to be a really great video, on content that you probably don't think it would have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I noticed with me and you on your channel, our collabs 95% do well and usually go over 100.
Yeah.
I think a couple of them didn't go over 100, but it's like an old school Siskel and Ebert. We both have opinions, and me, with every movie that I sing, dude, there's a story to go along with it. Because I have like a photographic memory of going to the movies, going to the drive-in or something. And so it's not always about the review. It's about the experience of seeing that movie. And with you, you bring back movies from way back in the day that have been talked about ever. And here I am, get to review them and shine some light on the subject. And people who follow you, they get a whole different perspective of what you thought about the movie that they never even seen coming. And that's cool, man. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for, right? It's like the ability to, review the big stuff, to review the cool stuff, but like
Right.
I also almost don't want to, like, I have no 100% urge sometimes to always do the really big name franchises that everybody's clicking on right now, because there's such a saturation of it, which is why I go back and review older films, even if it's an older popular film or something that had a fan base at some point. The reality of the situation is that's why things like X-Men Evolution do well on the channel. That's why things like Passion of the Christ do well. It's because when those things were coming out, there wasn't like an instant abundance of YouTube reviews. Like, you can find YouTube reviews for Passion of the Christ and for X-Men Evolution, no doubt. But like, there wasn't YouTube the way it is now at the time, so there wasn't this abundance of reviews being shot out. And so when you go even like earlier to like the 80s and stuff like that, those videos are fun to do, and they stand out for being, I feel, a little bit different compared to certain things. Like, I've slowly been making my way through all of the MCU films on my channel, but I also recognize that when I do them, they're going to do okay. If my channel gets bigger and I have a bigger audience that will click on it, sure, maybe they'll do better. Some of them would do good depending on who's in the video. I've done some with some YouTubers that are a little bit smaller, and they don't have, like, there isn't that draw from my viewers and then the draws from a separate viewer that kind of boost the video. So then it ends up kind of just doing okay. But at the end of the day, I like, my next one I'm going to do is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It's the next on the list. I love it. Great movie, love the movie, but I know as soon as I upload it, the reality situation is there is a saturated amount of reviews on that movie, and so that's why I like doing things like Beaches, because it's not one that I had never even heard of it. I had never even heard of the movie until I got the Blu-ray, like I said in the video. And like I said, I was kind of disappointed when I got it, but it turned out to be a good movie, and my girlfriend and I were like so into it. By the time it got to the really sad bits at the end, I was just like, oh man, damn it, Beaches. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Oh, you got me. Yeah. And the cool thing about doing reviews, man, one thing I keep in perspective, just perfect your own style. It don't matter if everybody else is doing a review of that film. Your fans and subscribers will always watch your videos because of you, not so much the film. I learned because I have a certain cadence when I talk. I add some mood music in the background. 95% of my videos are in black and white because I love classic films. So it's like a little gimmick, but it's me. It's Blacktastic. And people get used to your style, and they will always come to your videos. And you got a cool style, man. Your knowledge and the way you talk about movies, you're right down the middle. You never favoritism. You're never too negative. And you bring up key points. You truly dissect the film from a standpoint of a film critic. That's what I admire about you. Hell, I don't even do that, But you have a really, really cool style, man. And I've seen your growth in the last 6 months. And you're getting more comfortable in front of the camera. I'm seeing less and less, cuts. Now that you're doing live video, dude, you can't edit. You know what I mean? And I see you getting more comfortable, man. I'm proud of you. But me, yourself, Rashad G, Q Reviews, Cool to the Full. I know we all got unique styles, man, but we all blend perfectly. And I think like we're building like a bond, and we're all going to just grow together and blow up. That's why I see it happening that way.
Yeah, and that's what I've always wanted to do. I always tell everybody that is in my videos, and that's why I try to collab with so many people. It's like, if my channel goes up, I want to take everybody with me the same way that I would hope that these people who I've been working with wouldn't just like leave me in the dust. You know what I mean? It's just fun. It's fun to be able to have a circle of people that are all in it together. You know what I mean? That we're all making our own separate content that means something to us, but then we can kind of just come together and talk about what we all love, which is movies. You know what I mean? So yeah, I know.
You're a true critic, and people get that word mixed up. Being a critic, you don't criticize a movie, you critique the movie. That's what a critic does. A lot of YouTubers, they make videos just to get clicks. They act like they hate the movie. They act, they're being critical on purpose. But a true critic, the word means critique. And that's why I look at you. Rashad G, me and him share a lot of blackness, a lot of black style movies, a lot of black exploitation. We talk about black views, and me and him connect on that level.
Yeah.
And now you got Q Reviews. Dude is the funniest dude, and he does skits. He take you back to my high school days when I was the acting, drama, and we got all these different little quirky things about us that all blend together. And I'm a fan of everybody's work, and it works perfectly. But when I watch your reviews about a movie, I'm like this. I got to hear what my man Anthony A. Perez says about this movie, because you break it down to the last follicle, and you're straight down the middle. You don't favor no way. And I value your opinion, and I trust your opinion. So, man, congrats, man. You do a damn good job.
Thanks, man. That genuinely means a lot, man. It's taken me time, and I think when I started the channel, I wanted to just be as fair as a movie reviewer as I possibly could. I have never been one for just dumping on films. I just don't have that in me. Like, there's movies that are bad, and I could talk about how bad they are. But even the movies that are bad, I try to enjoy what's good about them. I try to talk about what's good, because I don't think any movie is ever all good or all bad. Like, I just don't think that. I think even bad movies, like, we have the term "it's so bad it's so bad it's good" for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, that's that kind of thing. I feel like is kind of the way that I view movies. And I always remember being a kid, and I was 6 years old and went to go see The Phantom Menace, the first Star Wars movie in a long time. It was the first one for me in my childhood that I ever got to see in theaters, and I was blown away. And my whole life, people have told me that movie's garbage. And as I've gotten older, as somebody who critiques film, I can recognize the flaws and stuff like that, but I still love the film. And it's always reminded me that movies, like everybody's talking about Wonder Woman right now, right? Kids that are watching that movie today who are not engaged in the online discourse are going to love the film, and it's going to mean something to them in 15, 20 years when they have a voice and they're on the internet talking about this movie, And so I always try to keep that in mind, that that's how I was. And so when I watch movies, totally can give my opinion, and if something worked for me or didn't work for me, but I find that there's almost always something good to talk about in each and every single movie.
Oh, there is.
At all times.
Yeah, but see, me being a director, I know how it is. You got grips, you got people bringing drinks and coffee. It's a whole crew of people working on one project, and it sucks when it fails. But even a bad movie, 9 times out of 10, they got great cinematography, or they got great lighting, they got great atmosphere. It's just maybe the dialogue was bad, or maybe the pacing was bad, the editing was bad. A lot of things make a film bad, but the work that goes into making a film, man, is glorious. And I can accept a bad movie and find all the good points in a bad movie.
Yeah.
And what makes a movie bad? Some people call something trash. I'm like, dude, that movie is not trash. You just don't like it. Like, people are calling Wonder Woman trash. Wonder Woman is not trash. You just don't like it. And that's a quick word you can use to just discard a movie. And these people who are trashing movies, I always tell it to myself, why don't you direct a movie? Why don't you pitch your art form out there and let us talk about your film? Man, I would crush you so bad, you would never click on your channel again. It's easy to talk about these big movies and Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins. Hey, man, look, that movie is not that bad. It's just, it's an art form. I notice on YouTube, people trashing movies. And Star Wars, oh my God. People lost their damn minds on Star Wars, man.
Pretty much all the time, man.
It makes me not want to talk about Star Wars, man. It's just weird. But outside of the YouTube world, everybody loves Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars.
I think that there's a huge amount of people that they feel online that think that they are the majority, right? And it's like I was telling somebody, The Last Jedi was the last thing that really taught me I need to really limit my discussion and how I approach commenting to people in comment sections. For the most part nowadays, I do my best to not. Now, there's definitely times I've definitely engaged in a couple now with Wonder Woman, but I've tried to kind of just come off with it with brushing it off, kind of like, let me hear what you guys have to say. And I've talked to a couple of people that said, "Oh, just trash, trash, trash." I hate that word for movies. And
Thank
and
you. Thank
I
you.
I would tell them, like, give me some valid criticism on what you felt worked and what didn't
Exactly.
work. And like, that's always going to be like, that's good. I did a spoiler discussion with JJ Lomas Entertainment, which I
Right.
believe you know. And we did the spoiler discussion. And yeah, he wasn't crazy about it. He didn't hate it, but he wasn't crazy about it. And he told me some of his criticisms. I was able to be like, yeah, like, seeing it from that side, I could see where that didn't work, and vice versa. And I feel like that's the joy about talking about movies. The Last Jedi, like you said, almost made it so, like, you don't even want to talk about Star Wars with random
No,
people.
that
But
was
the
weird,
reality,
man.
it was really weird, man. Especially because everybody was pretty positive for the most part on The Force Awakens and Rogue One, and then it was just like this. It was like people were killing each other online over the movie.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
insane.
That was a weird thing, man, because my cultural experience with Star Wars is a lifetime. I was too young to see the first one in theaters, but my mom and dad took me to see Empire Strikes Back at the drive-in. Changed my life, man. I went to my parents took me to Toys R Us the next day. Got me a little Dagobah system. You push a little action figures to go up and down. Then I seen Return of the Jedi opening day in the summer. My mom took me and my best friend LeBaron. We was in line for 3 hours in the blazing hot sun in LA to go see the Return of the Jedi. And my mom is old school. She is a big fan of Billy D. Williams from all of his 1970 movies, Ladies
Yeah.
Sings the Blues and Mahogany. So she loves Star Wars for another reason. And me and my little buddy, we love Star Wars for, man, Luke Skywalker. We all want to be Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. And that was the golden age of Star Wars. And then when it came back in '99 with the Phantom Menace, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Um, Maybe it's not as good as the original trilogy, but I love the build up to what happened in the original trilogy. I just think George Lucas is a great storyteller, just not a very good director. But those movies are not trash. you know,
Yeah.
you got people who love the original so much that that's trash. In the last trilogy, 7, 8, and 9, kind of remind me of the original trilogy. See, we all want to see our own thing in Star Wars, and when it doesn't happen, we trash a movie. That's what I noticed. All these geeks and nerds, they think they have the story written in their head. If it don't go that way, oh, George Lucas is stupid. Dude, he created Star Wars.
Yeah.
Stop. I have my own little small criticisms, like in The Force Awakens. My dream was to see Leia, Luke, Han Solo all together and go on one more adventure together. Well, it
Yeah.
didn't happen. They kind of spread it up, but that's what I wanted. I wasn't pissed off. And then when Carrie Fisher passed away, it's just a part of me died, man. It's just like, damn, we never going to get that all three of them together. Then Han Solo died, of course, in part 7. But I just want to see one more adventure in the Millennium Falcon, old and new, and then turn over the new generation Star Wars people to take it to the 8 and 9. That's what I really wanted. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I know. I think I can agree with you. I think most Star Wars fans would agree that they missed the mark on that one thing, giving us the three of them together once again for at least a part of one of the movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Specifically, The Force Awakens, where it felt the most natural. But I do enjoy what they did for the most part, and I have my criticisms. But yeah, like the absolute visceral hate that we see for franchise films in general nowadays, it's just not something that really speaks to me. There are times that my favorite critics, I don't always agree with them, but
Oh,
that's kind
yeah.
of my opinions and my trying to the way that I try to formulate my opinions and break them down and speak them into existence and make sure that I sound like I'm able to articulate my thoughts and sound coherent. All of that comes from probably my favorite few like YouTubers that I felt like I wanted to not adopt their style because I don't want to take that from them, but just the way
Right.
that they talk about movies from, for the most part, a fair vantage point, even if I don't agree with their opinions on certain movies. I know for me, it's my favorite film critic on YouTube is this guy named Dan Murrell. He was on,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. I watched him last night. He did a nice breakdown of the numbers of Wonder
yeah,
Woman. I mean, he dove in deep. That brother went into a rabbit hole, but I really respect his opinion. I'm glad he went solo too. Forget that
yeah.
network. Fuck them up. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree 100%. And he is my biggest inspiration as a film critic. I don't always agree with his take on things, especially when it comes to something like Star Wars, because he's a little bit more of like an original trilogy kind of guy. But
exactly.
I love his approach to movies. I love his passion and the way he chooses to break things down. And even if something doesn't work, again, it's kind of like with me. Like I'll talk about the cinematography, I'll talk about the director, I'll talk about the dialogue, I'll talk about this and that, because it's kind of like what you said. It's like people talk so much smack, they think that they could do it, but then it's like, all right, let's look at this. Just think about just this pre-production wise. You have to write a script that has to be done multiple times to try to get it as smooth and good as you possibly can, as polished as you can. Mind you, you probably have been hired on to do a movie that you've been told needs to come out in about a year and a half or 2 years. So now you have to have this script that's being written by probably multiple people or one person, depending. Then once it's fleshed out to what you want it to be, you got to translate that over to a screenplay. Then you have to get storyboarding done. Meanwhile, you have casting and hiring of the costume department and the cinematographer and all this kind of stuff
Exactly.
happening. The amount of work that happens that's setting up prior to shooting, and then you shoot, and then you have to deal with things that go wrong, actors maybe getting hurt, people getting sick, things
Studio
maybe,
interference.
yeah, weather issues. Like there's so many things that could go wrong in the production of a film. Then people hear reshoots and they're like, terrible, but it's like anything could have happened during the shooting. And then maybe you get back to get home base and you're editing and you're like, what we planned on is just missing a little something here, so
Right.
we need to reshoot here. And people just look at that instantly as this, oh, the film is ruined, it's never gonna survive. And yeah, bro, I just never have understood that harsh criticism and viewpoint on thrashy movies. And going back just a little bit more to what you were saying a little bit ago, you were talking about people that just make videos for clicks. And I've had people who ask me like, hey, why don't you change your thumbnails up and change your titles up to be a little bit more like, to try to pull in like this movie sucked or like this movie was great, like try to pull in clicks. And it's just not who I am. I feel like I don't
Thank
want
you.
to take away from what my channels, like I have a clean look to the way that my things are titled. I don't, and at the end of the day, I'd rather do that and have people click on it for the genuine thoughts rather
You
than
have a style.
a
Because when
reaction.
I see your thumbnails, I'm like, Anthony A. Perez. Matter of fact, the one you did for me and you for this, man, I was cracking up. I was like, yeah, man, people always have an opinion, will always have an opinion. Say, man, do it this way. Look, you just went over 1,000 subscribers, brother. You're doing a good job. Just some people you can listen to, but you can't listen to everybody.
Yeah, I just saw this post actually a couple times on Facebook, or I think it was earlier today or last night, that said, if you wouldn't take their advice, don't take their criticism. And I just try to keep that in mind, like
Yeah, that's a good one to live by.
yeah, like
Yeah,
and
man.
I
But
like, what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
outside, like I said, I'm all about creating your own style. And once you're comfortable in your skin, dude, the subscriptions are going to come. It's just a matter of time. Some people took 5 years. Look, you went over 1,000 in what, 2 years?
Yeah, a little bit over 2 years, and I've hit 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, I do
Yeah,
keep that in mind. Like I've seen some of my favorite people, like probably another one of my favorite YouTubers that everybody knows if you're into film reviews is Chris Stuckman, and he
of
talked
course.
about the
Love that
fact,
dude.
yeah, exactly. He talked about how he was doing YouTube multiple videos a week for like 2 years before he even made $1. Now, mind you, that was still before YouTube reviews were as saturated as they are now. So, you know, but I try to keep that in mind though. I've hit one check mark on towards
Yeah.
monetization on the channel. And yeah, there's other people like Mr. Beast, who's a huge content creator right now, who I believe went on for years, like almost 3 or 4 years of making videos, had like almost 500 videos before he really blew up. And now he's one of the biggest content creators on the
Right.
channel or on the platform. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
And see, my biggest YouTube channel to watch is Double Toasted. Look, they
Yeah.
don't even have 1 million subscribers, but they stay true to who they are. They keep it honest. They keep it raw. And the two of them have the greatest chemistry, man. And for me, it's nice to see two black, intelligent brothers talking about film. And they also been behind the camera because one of the guys, he was in a movie with Denzel Washington. He played an extra, and he's also an animator. So he draws. He's been in movies, and I really, really, really value their opinion. Now, sometimes, a lot of times, I don't agree with them, but you know, they're inspirational and they got their own style. They got their little theme music in the beginning. And I love stuff like that. I love the fact that Blacktastic Media comes on. You got the little camera rolling. You know, it's authentic. It's you. And like your intros and your bye bye, dude, that's you. It's not silly. It's not quirky. It's part of your personality, man. And that will set you apart from the saturation of all these YouTube guys, because you got some boring people out there trying to do reviews, and they just, yeah, it's the key word is
Yeah.
saturated. It's bad, man.
Yeah, it's super saturated, and I think that's part of why I've currently just come to a place of peace about it. I'm doing this for fun, and if something comes from it, then that's great. But something I also love about YouTube is that you can be big to certain people. You know what I mean? And like kind of like you were saying, I've never heard of Double Toasted, but the reality situation is they are probably incredibly big within their world, and they are beloved by their fans. And one of my other favorite YouTubers is this channel called Hello Greedo, and it's a Star Wars channel where this guy just wears a stormtrooper mask or helmet in all of his videos. Nobody knows what he looks like, and he just wears a stormtrooper
I
helmet,
think I've seen
and
that
he just
before.
does. Yeah, so you may have come across his videos because he's a pretty popular Star Wars YouTuber, but he doesn't have like I don't think he has like a crap ton of like subscribers. I don't know the exact number, but he hasn't hit 1 million, and he's just a easygoing dude. He's also here from Florida, and he just talks about Star Wars. He's pretty much like an original trilogy guy mainly, and he has his criticisms about other things. But I appreciate and respect his opinion on things so much because of the way he comes about things. And him and Dan Murrow are my biggest inspirations for starting a channel, because beyond him talking about Star Wars, which I love so deeply, he also one of the main things that he talks about like wanting to do and like his viewpoint on reviewing things is to have a level-headed approach. Come at it with level-headed thinking. And I think that we live in a time right now where people want to just be reactionary. It's all about the
Yep.
instant kind of holy crap that makes me incredibly upset or that makes me incredibly angry. And that's part of why I've never done like reaction videos on the channel. I've thought about it for here and there, but I've thought if I'm going to do it, I want it to be something different, because I'm also not the kind of person to like watch it like a trailer and like start jumping on my couch and start like freaking out or crying. I'm pretty I'm pretty plain faced when I watch things. Like if something makes me
Same
laugh or
here.
smile, like I'll laugh and I'll smile. But for the most part, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, smacking the person to my like. I'm pretty silent, like the Luke Skywalker thing in The Mandalorian. I was sitting there with a smile on my face. My body felt warm. All of the emotions were happening internally, but vocally, I think I had only said, "Oh my God, they're really doing this." But other than that, like I'm not overly reactionary in
Yeah,
that
me
way. But
neither.
then I'll have an abundance to talk about, and so yeah, I just don't really connect with that part of YouTube that just wants to be reactionary. I'd much rather come at things very level-headed and just talk about what I really loved about it, and let my words kind of, you know, do the talking essentially.
And let's be honest, a lot of those reaction videos are fake.
Yeah.
There's a formula. The girls are really cute, wear a low cut shirt. Oh my God. Oh, they don't know shit about film because they look good. They get the reaction videos. And these guys are over the top. Oh my God. Oh my. Really, dude? Stop. Stop. And once you got the reputation of being fake, dude, I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to pay attention.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do them, because it has to be authentic. And like I said, I'm pretty plain fake. I can watch a comedy like this. It might be funny, or I watch. Me. I'm a big Spike Lee fan.
Yeah.
I do a discussion. But I'm not gonna be jumping on my couch like Tom Cruise on Oprah. I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like I when I watch new things of franchises I love, the most you're gonna get out of me is like a smile, or maybe like a moment
Right.
where like I laugh, or kind of like all right, like I'm loving this moment, but I'm not vocal about it. I'm not like overly reactionary. And that's not to say that I think everybody's fake online. There's definitely some reaction videos that are genuine. I like sometimes seeing certain, like when The Force Awakens was coming out and that first trailer came out with
Oh
Han, like
yeah.
at the very end, Chewie, we're home. Like that was
Oh man.
emotional. It was exciting, and watching people's reaction to it was genuine. But I struggle with the ones of like TV shows, because I'm just like, the last thing that when I get home and I want to catch up on a show, or I'm gonna like the new episode or something, like if The Mandalorian was coming out, the last thing I want to do is put a camera up and know that this thing is recording me while I'm watching an episode of something I really just want to be able to take in 100% and absorb and analyze. I don't really want to sit here and have a camera in front of my face and think, oh yeah, I'm doing this for something. You know what I mean?
It just seems it just seems disgenuine to start off with, to do it that way. You
Yeah.
know, it just don't seem like it's coming from the right place.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. So real quick, I don't know how many people are in here right now. We did get some comments earlier. I was just enjoying the conversation so much that I forgot to bring them up. So I'll just talk about them really quickly. JJ Lomas was in here earlier saying, "What's up? We all have to
That's
do this
my man right there.
for sure,
My
man."
man's been successful the last 6 months. We did some really cool things.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy, man. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, and these are a lot of fun because you and I talk on Instagram fairly often. We do our collabs, but we haven't really ever had the chance to sit down here and genuinely talk. And I feel like that's kind of the best part about doing these is the ability to kind of get to know these other YouTubers that I talk to through text, in a more real way. We got McKee and Mole here saying, "Hey, man," and then he also said that he thought he'd drop in and show some support. We got a couple of
Appreciate it.
hundreds and so some emojis up in here as well, with the big Rob Theory dropping by also saying, "What's up, my dude?"
Oh yeah. Now y'all used to be in a band together, right?
Yeah, he used to play the guitar, and I was the vocalist, and we actually met in 6th grade. So he's beyond him just being a YouTuber friend. He's also one of my closest friends in real life, which I'm definitely happy that
Malik the King, always a positive brother, always giving some great comments, man. Love that dude right there.
Yeah, for sure. He just recently subscribed to me, and he's been super, super positive anytime that he's shown up in any of these live streams. So we got some comments about Wonder Woman when we were talking about that. 123 Rock fan says he didn't think it was all that bad, but he can see why people thought the plot was a little bit ridiculous. Malik saying that the design for Cheetah was also disappointing, wondering why Hollywood hasn't been able to nail down CGI cats yet. Have you seen the movie Cats?
I gotta agree.
Did you see Cats? Did you see the movie Cats?
I didn't see it, but I seen enough to know that it looked bad.
It's something else, man. I think it's worth a watch.
And my man brings up the mall scene.
Yeah,
I love the mall scene. It took me back to 80s comic book movies, like the original Superman, Superman 2. It was great. The movie had a lot of great elements. It's just cohesiveness was probably the major problem, but it happens, man. Not every director can make a perfect film. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always going to be things. And we got Rashad in here. He just came in.
Oh, smiggity smick smacks. Rashad G.
What's going on, Rashad? How are you, man?
The Rashad poster. He dropped a video today about Taco Bell. Dude, it is hilarious. That dude is crazy.
I gotta check that out. I'm always behind. Like I think I've talked about it before here on the stream. I always tell people always ask, like, why are you watching my video from weeks ago? The reality is that I'm always behind because I play a lot of video games and I watch a lot of movies. Right. I spend time with my girl and I make my own videos and that. But I'm like, I want to still support all my people. So right now my watch later on YouTube is currently at like 537 videos, something like that. That was the last time I checked it. And so I just make my way through my subscriptions. So anytime people upload things, I instantly add it to my watch later. So it's like, oh man, Anthony A. Perez didn't watch my video. It's like, no, I'm gonna watch it, and that's why I'll be commenting on your videos from weeks prior because I finally got around to it and checked it out.
Which I appreciate, man, because it takes me back, like, oh yeah, this. Because a lot of times you go, man, I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this. A lot of movies that I've seen you haven't seen, so in the future we have a lot more to talk about. Because once you go down that rabbit hole of blaxploitation movies, brother, you are going to have a blast. And then, as you are as passionate about Star Wars, I'm passionate about my favorite director, Spike Lee.
Yeah, I
know a ton of his films you haven't seen. So this year we'll work on that, man. We'll do some things that you can check out some of his films.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's been some of my favorite things seeing on your channel recently is those Spike Lee reviews, because between you and Rashad, I've just realized that I am not overly familiar with his filmography. He's an incredibly popular director. I've known of a lot of his movies, but then there's some of them that you review, and I'm like, I've never, ever heard of this. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's definitely an eye-opener. I also see Rashad here said that he's bummed that he missed the Wonder Woman talk, There's a lot of fuss about the movie. I definitely didn't hate it. It was just okay for me. Yeah, I think a lot of people are following in that realm, and it's kind of crazy to me because I love the movie, but it's
Yeah,
also interesting to see what movies work and what doesn't work.
it just there's a group of men out there that hate on a female director and a female lead. I think a lot of that hate is coming from that, diversity audience right there. But those dudes are just jerks. They hate their mom, they hate their wife, and they find a reason to crap on them. Because the movie is not that bad. It just is not as well produced as the first film.
Yeah, agreed.
And even the look, it went from dark and gritty to just like bright and color, which I appreciate the change. It just I don't think nobody was ready for it. This is the Last Jedi version of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, pretty
you
much.
know,
It's kind of crazy, but it's kind of like we were talking about earlier. That's it's such a small percentage of people, right? Because the reality situation is like, let's say Christmas Day, families throwing it on to HBO Max. You got Grandpa Jimmy, you got Grandma, Agatha, you got the mom, you got the kids. Everybody's watching. Everybody's sitting down to watch. No, reality of the situation is that the people that are really going to go online and ramble their thoughts are either the assholes or just the people who are kind of don't got anything else to do, or the really young kids. But even then, the grandparents are probably just going to say that was nice and turn it off.
exactly.
What I'm trying to get at is like people for the most part are not running to, especially if somebody loved a movie. How many times have you gone to Rotten Tomatoes and go to Rotten Tomatoes to go give an excellent audience score? If you're like me, not many times. And it's not because I didn't like the movie. It's just like it's not your first
I don't
reaction.
even follow Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Only when my favorite YouTubers talk about it, I pay attention, but I never go to their website ever.
Yeah, and I'll go to looks to see like, oh, what's the critic score or whatever. But like every time I see a movie, I'll make a video on it. That's my way of kind of voicing my opinion, getting everything I want to say about the movie off my chest, and then I move on. And I don't feel the need to go to IMDb, to Rotten Tomatoes, to every scoring place and add my score to try to boost it. And it's just most people are like that. Most people are going to say, "Hey, I liked it. I didn't like it," and they move on. But then the people who bomb these sites, it's just all you need is a small percentage, and a small percentage of a huge world with a lot of people to really make something seem like it's worse than it is. And it's something with Rotten Tomatoes. It's like it has so many eyes on it. But compared to how many people use Rotten Tomatoes as just visually, just look at it versus how many people actually go on there and leave reviews. It's night and day, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of just hilarious that this percentage of people online just think that they're the majority, and I think the internet seems bigger to them than it actually is.
Yeah, a lot of these people don't know how to handle having followers. They think they're Jesus or some kind of God, and they got a flock of people. And I watch them because some of these people I used to watch years ago, and they were totally different. Now they're like, "Yes, welcome to my channel." I'm like, in real life, dude, I would just whoop your ass if you say something crazy to me. You know what I mean? But online, behind the keyboard, oh, they're strong and man, stop it. You know? And that's why a lot of these people, they have some kind of scandal. That shit comes tumbling down, and that cracks me up. Because the bigger you get, the harder you're gonna fall when something comes out. You know what I mean?
It's true, bro. It's true, man. YouTube is this interesting thing that also be incredibly humbling. You gotta have the right mindset on there. Hold on,
It
real
takes
quick.
one video, and usually that one video that blows up, they use as their launching pad. Because a lot of people, when The Last Jedi came out, got big time reviews because they hated on that film, and now they're labeled as Star Wars haters, and they have to have hateful things to say about Star Wars all the time. I noticed that right when The Last Jedi came out, a lot of people got popular with rant reviews about that movie. Their channel went from A to Z all of a sudden. Now you went from this guy to this. I don't follow him no more.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I can't with channels that are all about the clickbait, some thumbnail of them screaming. Oh yeah, I was waiting for you
I'm
to
not
see
gonna Rashad you. Don't whoop that ass, Black. Yeah, me and my man Rashad G, we look like a couple of bouncers. We'll fuck some motherfuckers up.
Honestly, bro.
Hold on, motherfucker, I hit him.
The two of you guys always make me laugh with your reactions to certain things, man. Like that, you guys, it's like kind of like you said earlier. You guys share this similar blackness, as you said,
Dude, me
and
and her
it's
brother, we got the same mamas and daddies in a different life. I don't know, but the cool thing about it, I got family in Florida, and my coworker just bought a brand new house in Florida. Next summer, most like I'm coming out there. So we got to find a way to hook up, man.
yeah, bro.
Always.
You let me know, man, for sure. Hit me up, and we'll make it happen for sure. Because I'm always down to. Because Rashad and I, we got to stop slacking. We learned not too long ago. It's been a minute at this point. We've just been so caught up with life. But we learned not too long ago that we're only a little over an hour apart by car.
Get the hell out of here.
Legitimately, literally only a little over an hour apart, and it's so crazy. All this time doing these collabs, and we could literally, if we wanted to, do one in person. We just have to make the effort. So
yeah, man, we got to hook up, do some kind of event in the future when COVID calms down, because I got a whole bunch of places. I got family in St. Petersburg, Tampa. I'm not sure how far you are from Tampa, that area.
yeah,
But
I'm literally only like an hour from Tampa.
yeah, so I got free room and board with my family out there. So I'm definitely coming to Florida, man. I'm gonna work on my tan when I get there, try to blend this out.
Yeah, man, that would be the most epic video vlog ever. The reunion
Well,
or
man,
the first
if I'm
time
gonna come
meeting.
out there, we're gonna do some kind of short film together. It's not
Oh
just
yeah,
gonna be hooking up and kicking it. We're gonna do something together and put some kind of mini movie together. I'm working on it in my head, so we'll
hey,
make it happen.
you tell me when, man. You, me, and Rashad in videos together in person. The clicks would be crazy.
Oh man, it'll be the new Three Stooges.
But no, yeah, man, that would be amazing, man. You gotta let me know. So I gotta ask you now, man. I know you're working on another film. What do you got
Right.
coming out on Blacktastic Media moving forward that you're most excited
Oh yeah.
about? Something that you can tell people without spoiling too much.
Yeah, I'm working on two projects right now that are major. One is Sarah, which is my next horror film. And that film I'm shooting in Sacramento and also in Portland, Oregon. So I'm jumping states, going back and forth doing that movie. I have a friend, her and her family owns a marina in Portland, Oregon. They own a marina. And on that marina, they have a pirate ship. So I have access to a marina, water, boats, pirate ships. So that's why this movie will have a high production value. And I'm doing a documentary on the dude I went to high school with. He's a world famous beatboxer. He's traveled the whole world and did contests and won. So my next documentary is on a human beatbox dude that I knew. And this dude is incredible.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm
And
excited
then
for
I
all
was
that.
recently in LA. I shot enough footage for 12 new episodes of Compton is My City.
Nice.
So episode 4 will be coming out this week. So I'm staying busy, man. I got to keep the director muscle flexing, man. I'm always working on something, always. But those are
Yeah,
my 3 major projects. One is done. Compton is My City is already shot, edited, put away. So each month I'm dropping a new episode. And when Corona clears up, I'm gonna fly down to Oregon and trying to finish shooting Sarah, so it'll be out hopefully next year.
that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I'm really excited for you, man. Like you got a lot of great content coming out, and you always are shelling out new content and fun stuff. And again, it's your personality. It's like we've been talking about. It's the personality that really makes channels thrive here on YouTube. You can have the higher budget, and when your channel gets bigger and money is there for everybody to be able to, but you don't need it, right? Like I always think about the fact that when I started this channel, I was always like, oh, I'm filming on my phone and I'm editing on iMovie on my phone, but I've made it work, man, because
Hell yeah.
I film every single one of my videos and edit every single one of my videos on my phone. I have
That's
this microphone.
incredible.
Yeah, this microphone, I plug it into my phone via like a little adapter, it's like a USB adapter that goes into the bottom of my iPhone. I film it there with like a little tripod, like a ring light thing where you slide your phone into it. And yeah, man, I literally so the table that this is sitting on, I'll slide this table in front of the tripod. I place this tall box on top of it so that I can sit the microphone on top of the tall box that it's kind of like right below me. It's like it looks kind of ghetto, but at the same time,
Hey,
it works, man. And it's been a great process. And anytime I talk to anybody who wants to start a YouTube channel, their first thing is like, oh, I gotta get all this equipment, and I'm just like, you really, really don't. It's like as long as you are just start getting comfortable in front of the camera, you know, just talking about whatever you want to talk about. You don't need much. YouTube is all about sitting there watching somebody in front of a camera just talking. It's what they're talking about. It's the personality that really drives things forward. So your channel definitely already has all of that, man. And
Yeah, man.
really I'm
I
excited.
personally use a plain background so I can go anywhere at any given time and do a video and it looks the same. I could be in Florida. I could be in Texas. I can be in New York. I find a white wall, switch it to black and white. It's always the same. And
Yeah.
people get used to your style. And then sometimes I do videos outdoors. Or once in a while, I might drop one in color. Be like, oh man, all right. You know, you gotta keep it edgy. You gotta keep it fun.
Yeah.
And I like what you're doing, man. These collabs and these live videos, dude. Your channel has some great content, man.
Thanks, man.
I look forward to doing movie reviews with you. Then I do my damn self on my channel.
Well, it's fun, man, because like for me, like, you know, the channel's called Anthony A. Perez. That's me. And of course, majority of the videos on the channel are probably just me. But ever since I started doing collabs, almost every video I do has somebody else in it. And a part of that is because I feel like it gives the audience a good chance to get to know me, the various people that I've met, have them involved, as well as being able to see their channels grow. And then I always love seeing people that I do collabs with and then going and watching their newest videos, and maybe somebody that I know follows me is now commenting on their videos. And that's always super refreshing. You know, the amount of people that I've connected where I've literally seen in each other's comments saying like, oh, came over here because of Anthony's channel, this and that. And now they're supporting each other. That's almost more rewarding to me than anything else, you know, because I'm connecting people. And I started this channel not to make money, not to be successful. If that kind of stuff comes from YouTube, which is a possibility, I will gladly accept it. But I'm realizing more and more and more that it's all about the community, the ability to talk to people like yourself about movies in a reasonable and very just fun-loving way, rather than, you know, going online and just arguing or talking to your coworker who, like, you can tell like 3 minutes in is just kind of like, all right, I like the movie, but I don't care that much, you know, like, you know what I'm talking about, man. Like, you try to talk to people about,
because my coworkers, they follow my channel. My boss kids. I mean, it's cool to hear people say, man, so and so, man, I subscribe to your channel, man. I love what you do. That is the best compliment, man. And I get a lot of messages that are private. Dude, your movie scared the hell out of me. Like Rashad G, this dude is huge. I didn't know he was scared of rats. My first movie scared him with rats. And he said he did a spoiler-free review on The Comforter. I'm pretty sure them damn dolls scared his ass. Them little clown dolls.
Yeah, dude. They were creepy. That's why I put one in my thumbnail, because I was like, this is definitely creepy. And man, just the opening of your movie, like, you know, like kind of you were saying, like, grab their attention with like the police call and everything. I was sitting there thinking, like, I was sitting here like going like, and I have like a pretty decent like sound bar and like subwoofer, so you kind of got like this sense of ambiance right out of the gate. I watched it on my TV. I watched it like on my full big HD TV.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's how I watched your movie the same way I watched my, like, you know, big budget movies. Like, I sat here, soundbar, subwoofer, big HD 4K TV. That's how I watched your movie. And so by the time the intro kicked in, where the credits were playing, and you got all this stuff with the phone call, I remember I looked around because I was home alone. I go, damn, like, ambiance and creepy vibe set instantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, really enjoyed that.
Being a fan of horror, if I got your attention a little bit, man, that's a compliment, because we're all going to get better as writers, directors, editors. We're all going to get better. And I'm using YouTube as a classroom to put my stuff out there. And when the time comes, man, when it's like, you got a friend who's an incredible composer, you know?
Yeah.
And we got friends who are talented. One day I just have a feeling it's all going to come together. Remember, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and them were buddies way back when they was young. And look at Rashad G, man, don't be putting my business out there. Rashad is the man. Oh man.
Yeah, he's a trip. Yeah, I talked to Rashad. I mean, that's maybe not. I don't know. I really don't know, because there's a couple people I talk to a lot, like you and Rashad. But I talk to Rashad pretty often, especially recently, since he's kind of had this. You know, we're always doing the tit for tat series back and forth on each other's channel. So kind of, you know, we're always talking about things. And man, the amount of times this man makes me laugh, dude, like, it's just, Like, I can send him a movie that I am so in love with. Like, but his reaction, even him shitting on a movie that I love, is hilarious to me. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just the way his review style. He asked me when he was on my random rambling with him that he asked me, like, is there a movie that you ever gave me that, like, you thought I was gonna love and then it just didn't? And it was the movie Holes, which stars Shia LaBeouf. It's a Disney movie, and he just went in on the movie, and I was just like, oh no! Like, I remember my girlfriend and I loved that movie, and we both told each other, like, oh man, I gotta give this one a Rashad. Like, he might let me give him a good Disney movie, you know. And man, here he comes.
I'm on Rashad G's side on that one, man. Fuck that movie.
I love that movie, man. I love the characters. It's weird. It's a weird movie for sure, but I've always enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
and so that was just funny to me. Like, and it's part of going back to what we were talking about, like with the collabs and stuff. It's part of, I think, what's really helped me talk about movies in a much more peaceful and fun manner. You know, like there are so many moments that, you know, you get caught up in arguing about movies and just why. Like, if you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. You know. You can change, you know, sometimes you can change somebody's opinion or have your opinion changed by things being talked about, just kind of like in, you know, just fun discussion, you know, and just fun discussion. So anytime I have these collabs on my channel, man, it's been a great way to just meet a bunch of new people and get to know their thoughts on something that I enjoy or don't enjoy, and then just kind of have fun kind of discussing in general. You know, it's
what I appreciate, it takes me back to the good old 80s when Siskel and Ebert used to be on TV weekly breaking down movies. Very seldom they agree. They both had opinions. And I miss that type of reviews of movies. And what you're doing with Rashad, doing everything, takes it back to the old classic way of reviewing movies. It's cool to have two opinions at the exact same time.
Yep.
And remember the key word, critic means to critique, not to criticize. And people just, you know, everybody thinks they know everything. You know, half these people can't spell the word film, and you know, yes, you got some idiots out there.
Yeah, genuinely.
And like, man, really, stop.
I had have you seen Soul, the new Pixar film?
No, I'm going to probably watch it sometime this week coming up. I mean, everybody's been asking me, are you going to watch it and review it? And I definitely am. I hear nothing but great things about it. So
yeah, no,
it's the first time Pixar did a movie on some black people. So yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, man. And I think that, you know, obviously I'm not black, so I can't speak to exactly what it's like.
Well,
but
you have a black grandfather, right?
I have my great grandmother was black. Yeah.
Okay, then you black then.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like if you look at some of my cousins from my Cuban side, like they're all black. And
oh yeah, Cuban. I remember I would come out to Florida about 10 years ago to visit my family. Every black person I ran into was Cuban, man. That tripped me out.
Yeah.
Like, where the black people at?
When I was a kid, it kind of shocked me because I grew up in Miami, which is very diverse areas, a lot of Cubans, but you know, there's also just a lot of just, you know, African Americans. So like and all of my closest friends, the Big Rob Theory. I was in a metal band with 5 dudes. I was a Hispanic guy. There was 1 white guy and 3 black dudes, which is not your typical like metal band.
No, that's a trip.
Yeah, and 2 of them were from the islands, and one of them was from Nevis, and the other one was, and the Big Rob Theory, his family's from Jamaica. So I was always deeply ingrained in like more of the island culture when it came to the black folk that I knew. But then there's another one of my close friends, Thomas, who's black, who's Puerto Rican. And then like my great grandmother, you know, is black and she's Cuban. She passed away when I was like 15 years old, but I'm glad I got all that time with her. And then I got to meet some of the people that was part of her family that were all black. So I remember when I was growing up and I was really young, I was like, wow, there's so many Hispanic like people that you meet, and then like you know, sometimes I couldn't understand a word they were saying because they were just so Spanish. And then they were like, you know, black as night. You know, it's kind of crazy. Like you forget that. It's kind of like one of my friends that I had on here, Donald Michelin. I had him on here not too long ago. His stepdad is Chinese, but his family is from Jamaica, so he has like a thick Jamaican accent, but he's a Chinese guy. So it's like it's this very interesting thing about like cultures everywhere. But going back,
one of my best friends is Jamaican. We have a lot in common. One of my best friends, Dwight. We grew up together, and he's from Jamaica. And I appreciate all the different cultural backgrounds my friends have. It makes you more whole, and that's why people like me and you and everything, get along without even meeting each other because we had that experience of being around different cultures our whole life.
Yeah, no,
It makes
exactly.
a big
I
difference.
That's why I it's so crazy because like I live in Florida, which sadly leans more Republican, and like which is fine, but like there's definitely a lot of racists in this state. But it never
Oh,
made sense to me because growing up in South Florida, it's such a different place from like maybe like North Florida, and it's a melting pot of diversity. I graduated in a class of like 23 people because I went to a small Christian private school. I've talked about it a little bit
damn.
before, and you had people like me that were half Cuban, half Puerto Rican. You had some people in my class that were from the Philippines, people that I graduated with, I knew for years, people from the islands, people from that were just maybe just straight white, but people who also had like this descendants or like a family from like Switzerland or Ireland, and it's just like crazy to see the melting pot of people that have always kind of been around. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's like racism has never even been something like it's like that's ever even touched my bones, especially being in this
That's
crazy
crazy.
state. But going back to Soul, man, Soul is great. I'm not going to touch on any spoilers. Pixar is great with just very heartwarming stories. It's from the same director, I believe his name is Pete Docter, same director who gave us Monsters Incorporated, Up, and
Yeah.
Inside
Okay.
Out. Inside
Yeah, I did
Out.
some research on it. Tomorrow is my Friday, and I got 4 days off from work.
Nice.
So I'm definitely going to watch it and do a review because I seen Rashad G's review last night. I still need to
Yeah.
leave a comment on it. But people that I admire, especially my black YouTuber, they said, you need to watch this. It's incredible. And if you're a lover of music and stuff like that, I heard it's pretty deep. So I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. The music was beautiful. It was beautifully animated, and it just had a great, touching message at the center. Jamie Foxx was great. And yeah, I feel like it shined a nice light on Black culture and really celebrated Black culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Everything from the musical kind of like side, because obviously like jazz is a big part of like the
Yeah.
trailer, you see it, but even down to like the conversations in the barbershop. Because like I grew up going to a lot of barbershops as a kid down there in Miami, and I was always in these like either like heavily Hispanic or Black barbershops, and just even if you weren't talking, when I was even like an awkward kid, just sitting there and being a part of the vibe, the barbers talking to each other, and like I don't do that anymore, obviously, because I don't really need to. But yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
like yeah, it's I actually just shaved my head earlier today. It's like at this point, like I never go to a barber anymore. But I think they did a great job with the way that they did things in the movie. It's got a great message, and yeah, I really look forward to hearing what you got to say. I also
Yeah.
haven't commented on Rashad's video yet, but I watched it last night actually on my TV as well. But yeah, it's a really good movie. I look forward to your thoughts. Really quickly before we continue, I see we got some comments in here. I don't want to keep going like I did last time and not pay any attention to them.
I'm gonna take a book out of Travis Tries' channel. I'm eating a Pop Tart.
Hey, there you go.
Travis, this is delicious.
We got Bryson Boone in here saying Rashad is a really good dude. But bro, why didn't you like Holes? It's not like Up and Away. Up and Away being another one that I had him watch.
Yeah, well, me and Rashad, we agree on a lot of things when it comes to some of these Disney movies. And I was like, nah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a give and take. Q review saying Ant and Blacktastic, my dream has come true. What's going on, man? How are you, Q?
My man. I'm just gonna
You
keep telling him that dude got mad talent doing skit videos and stuff.
crazy talent,
Dude,
dude. And
man, check out his thumb. I mean, look at this picture right there. I love that. The blood and
yeah, honestly,
plus
man.
he loves horror movies. I mean, come on, we all got the same kind of love. Me, you, Rashad G, and Q reviews. We all love horror movies. But since everybody's here, I work on a script that I think we can do. I think we can all film our parts where we live. You, myself, Rashad G, Q reviews, and send me all your videos. I think we can make a horror film. All of us getting attacked by somebody and splice all together and make it a movie. That would be kind of cool to shoot 4 different perspectives and slice it all together.
That'd
That's
be
something we
dope,
should
bro.
work on for next year.
Yeah, no, you let me know when you have that worked out and you want to get it done, and I'll make it happen,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, no, for
that would
sure.
be fun, man.
No, absolutely. See, Blacktastic also, or Blacktastic Q also telling you, Blacktastic, you have to watch Soul, best film of the year. A lot of people
Yeah.
calling it best film of the year. I don't know what my favorite film of the year is, but Soul is definitely up there. I walked out
I
of that
haven't seen
movie.
Soul yet, but right now, my favorite movie of the year is The Five Bloods by Spike Lee.
I haven't seen that one
And
yet, but I
I
really need
think
to.
he's gonna get some serious Oscar nods this year.
Yeah, I want to see that one. I still haven't seen it. I'm kind of ashamed. I know Chadwick Boseman's in it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those. I've been really slacking this year with streaming movies. You would think it's the easiest stuff to hop on instantly, but for some reason, the movies that I was quick on that are new were the theatrical releases when I was able to see them.
Oh yeah.
And I just did a lot of older stuff this year. Like this year was like a heavy rewatch year for me. Whether it's like all the Saw movies, which I'm still working on my reviews for, or all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, or just so many others, Beaches.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. The
So,
pandemic caused me to go back in my library and watch a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, I've been on a Spike Lee kick.
yeah.
Also some old school blaxploitation films. Man, it's kind of cool. Then working with you, I'm doing films that I haven't watched in years, and it's kind of cool to go back and retread all that stuff. It's really really cool.
No, yeah, for sure.
Oh, Cool to the Fullest is in the
Yeah,
house. What's up, boy?
yeah, what's going on? Cool. We also got Paul Emmett here saying, "Yo, bro, what's up? How's it going?"
What's
Thank you for.
happening? My man Paul.
He said, "Bald gang, what's up?"
Yeah, you
uh,
put our heads together, it look like a couple of butt cheeks. Except one side got a tan, the other one don't, man.
we got Trav tries loving your Pop Tart moment.
Oh man, yeah, I got that strawberry. Mm-hmm.
Q review saying that he's down for your idea. Also, Rashad saying he's down as well. I like
Yeah,
that.
man, we can all try to like write it together and come up with an idea, man. I think it'd be really cool, man, to do something on YouTube like that
We
and
got
put
Cool
it
to the
out there
Fullest
for late
wanting in
next year.
too.
Yeah, man, I ain't forgot about you. Cool to the Fullest, yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that. That's a compliment. Blacktastic, did you watch 40-Year-Old Virgin on 40-Year-Old Is it
Hell
Virgin
yes.
or Version?
That was dope. That was her first time directing. That female is dope. She did a lot of writing for She's Gotta Have It on Netflix. She's
Okay.
a dope ass woman, man.
So it's called 40-Year-Old Version, not Virgin.
Version, yeah. It's
Kinda like-
about a 40-year-old woman becoming a rap artist. And to
Gotcha.
give you a little background, she did a lot of writing for Spike Lee. She's really
All right. Nice. Definitely gotta look into that. I see that Cool said that he's down for it as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, 40-Year-Old
We're
Version.
gonna
I
do
gotta
something
check it
epic,
out.
man. We're gonna change the game.
I'm super down, man. I think the more we collaborate, all of us, and do fun stuff like that, it's gonna make for the best, man. And we support each other, and as our channels grow, we our kind of those videos with each other grow. Like I always think that I always keep that in mind that if my channel ever gets to like a really great place that like gets big or something, same with you guys and these people that you've collabed with, like those things are all part of the library. Somebody's gonna come across Blacktastic.
Like the big channels, they're all friends. All those big channels,
yeah,
they're all friends too. So man, give it a few years, we'll be in the same neck of the woods, man. We're all gonna be channels are gonna grow. We're gonna do great things. And my goal is to get a nice little budget for a movie one day. You guys could be extras, whatever you want to do to be in one of my films, man. That would be a dream come true.
genuinely. Hey, man, I will be more than honored to be a part of that for sure. Real quick, since we have a decent amount of people commenting, if anybody has any questions for Blacktastic or myself that you want to just throw in the comment there, anything that you guys want to just kind of have us talk about, maybe a new movie or just something in general, please do that. But yeah, look, I see I got just accepted. This is my buddy Chris, who was recently here on the Random Rambling as well. Said that he likes his positivity. Obviously, talking about you, Blacktastic. Yeah, man, you just have this level of positivity that is genuinely inspiring, man. Like I love doing collabs with you, and like I said, when I reached out to a few different YouTubers, including yourself, when I was feeling fairly discouraged just a few months ago, you had a lot of positive things to say, man, and just hearing how you kind of handle criticism or your own personal disappointments at times, yeah, it definitely helped kind of take things to the next level and recognize that we're all in this for fun and that you're going to have these huge roller coaster moments with YouTube where You're gonna feel like
YouTube
at the
is
top of your game.
and valleys, peaks and valleys. It's up and down, like a relationship, man. It's going to happen, but I notice we all have the same determination, and we can lift each other up. Because usually I'm like, I watch one of Rashad G's videos, one of your videos, Cool to the Fullest, my man Q Reviews. You guys inspire me to do better, and that's what I like. You keep me on my edge, keep my game going. And I like it when we all talk about the same movie. We all have a different opinion about the same movie. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always love that, and I always just love doing videos. You were talking about Q reviews earlier with the skits, and like, man, the dude is just so talented with the skits. I mean, there are certain kind of videos that I love from everybody, right? Um, with you, I love your true stories. I'm really into like your documentaries and stuff like that, like your Compton videos. Those have been a lot of fun. But your true stories are always just kind of funny to me, and then your movie reviews in general. Rashad, I always tell him his movies and what does he call it? Like movies and a meal.
Movies, cooking,
Cooking. Yeah, the one where he cooks food and he
dinner in a movie or something.
Dinner in a movie. Yeah,
that's my favorite series he does, man. I love that.
Yeah, those are I told him they give me a laugh every time. That or my favorite videos he does are the ones where he has his cousin China in it. Those for me are the funniest videos possibly on YouTube. The amount of laughs. One of my favorite moments, and my girlfriend and I quote it all the time. I don't think I've ever told this to Rashad, if he's still watching. He was on there with cousin China, and they were talking about like relationships, like they do sometimes, where they talk about like, I don't know, guys and girls and what works and what doesn't work in relationships. And he was talking about cousin China was talking about something, and she called.
Grab me your charger real quick. I charge my phone.
No,
my battery's getting low, so I'm gonna have my boy grab my charger for me. I'm still here.
No, you're good. No worries, man. Yeah, I remember Rashad's cousin China. She just called like a man, or she called men that do a certain thing, like a trash can with a lid. I don't know why, but that made me laugh so hard to call somebody a trash can with a lid. And the way she said it, because if you've seen her in his videos, she's like, she could be real extra and real over the top, but so funny. And the amount of laughter that lady has brought me in those videos is absolutely amazing. With Q reviews, I always love seeing his skits at the beginning of his reviews when he does do them. But the dude is crazy talented in general on something that he hasn't done too much on his channel. Because I don't know if you know this, but Q is a CG artist. Like he does that work. And I don't know if he's ever shown you anything that he's worked on. He sent me like a reel that had a bunch of different CG artist stuff that like from different people, but like essentially he was part of that. Every single clip, because he was like, oh, I didn't do all of it, but I did some of it. And every single clip that he showed me in that video was epic, like some of the greatest CG art that I've ever seen. And I was just kind of like sitting there, like when he told me CG artist, I didn't know to what degree. And then I saw it and I was like, man, like this is like movie quality stuff. Like the dude's crazy.
And the dude is modest,
super modest.
He got that dude got mad talent. I mean, look at what you're saying. Look, you know a guy, a friend of yours who's a composer. I'm directing. My man, Cool to the Fullest, loves to write scripts.
Yeah.
My man does CG. It's not by chance we all met and we're all cool with each other.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's
the foundation of something great to happen one day. Trust me, and it's going to happen
for sure. Yeah, real quick, I see he commented on here saying, "Oh shit, thanks, fam." Yeah, no, for sure, man. You definitely deserve it. Rashad also saying, "Y'all laugh, but China be trying to run my pressure up." And we did get a question real quick from my buddy Chris. Just accept it. Over on his channel, he does a lot of video game content and some blogs and some stuff like that. But he asked, what would you say to someone who's feeling discouraged and unmotivated with their YouTube, asking for a friend? So I'll let you answer this first, Blacktastic.
Man, the best thing to do is whatever you want to do positive, speak it into existence. If you're having the crappiest time on your channel, say out loud and look in the mirror what you want to accomplish, and then hold yourself accountable. And don't get put down or discouraged by anybody else. You are your own worst enemy, and you are your worst critic. Walk into the bathroom right now, turn on the light, and look in the mirror, and say out loud, look in the mirror. Just don't say Candyman 3 times. You won't die. But say what you want to happen and speak it into existence, dude. It works. I'm telling you from experience. Life is a journey with ups and downs, peaks and valleys. And LeBron James has been discouraged. Some of your favorite directors have been discouraged, your favorite actor. It happens to everybody on every level. But if you hold yourself accountable and you can look yourself in the mirror and be satisfied with what you're doing, nothing else matters, man. It will fall into place. Trust me.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know how to follow that up because that you're so right, man. And like for me, when I felt discouraged, I've needed those moments of self-reflection and just like realizing what I want out of this. And then you feel this great sense of accomplishment when you look back at, like, I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Everybody who's watching who has a channel, you look back at your channel at the end of the month and you're like, man, look at this, look at all this library of content that I made in December of 2020. Like, I'll be able to look back on this at any point sometime in the next few months. Maybe next month I'll have more videos, maybe the next month I'll have less videos, but I'll be able to still look back at the library of content that I've made, and you're proud of it, you know what I mean? And when you do hit those milestones, like when I hit the 1,000, I remember that I went to the bathroom not long after I found out that I hit the 1,000, and I got excited. I hugged my girlfriend, gave her a kiss. I was like super pumped on it. She was excited for me. I went to the bathroom because I had to go, and then I just had a moment. I looked at myself in the miror, and it sounds cheesy, but I just had this like, yeah, you did this kind of like moment.
Had that Blade moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's this thing where you kind of just gotta do it, man. Like, so like, to Chris, you just gotta kind of sometimes just talk to yourself and then just do it. And I think that sometimes when you overthink it with YouTube, you don't get it done, and you just have to do it. And I've kind of come down. I have like a rhythm now. I know that I can get home right from work and go take a shower, get ready, get in front of the camera, set everything up. I got my notes that I maybe wrote earlier in the day or the night prior, or sometimes right before. And I will stand in front of the camera, and I'm confident now that I will film this video within 10 to 15 minutes, unedited. And I'm going to sit down, I'm going to chill, I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to get that video edited in within an hour. I always tell myself, within an hour, I'm going to get this video edited down to where I want to. And by like around the hour mark, I'm probably maybe throwing in like the poster images and like, little final moments. And then I'm exporting the video and getting it uploaded to YouTube. And when that moment's happening, when that moment's happening, I'm fulfilled. I feel like, cool, I did something. And then I've also done certain things on my channel that took a little bit longer, like those supercut videos that I do where I get like all these different clips with the music and all like those are just fun to do. But I got to get the timing of the music right. Those take a little bit longer at times. But even those, I edit all of them on my phone.
But dude, speaking of editing, you are a master at editing. I don't know if you know that, dude. You have a talent with editing and how you cut the music and the editing together. Dude, brilliant work. You doing that on your phone too?
Yeah.
Man, you got skills, brother. You got skills. I'm gonna need you in the future for damn sure. I'm putting an Avengers team together right now of producers, writers, and stuff. We're gonna have ourselves a damn company one day. But we all got skills in different ways.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And like you said, I like the ring of the idea that or the mentality that we're all meeting for a certain reason. You know what I mean? We're all
Dude, it's not by chance. It's not by chance.
For sure, man. I love that. I love that positivity.
And
so
everybody has a skill set. Come on, man. That's fate.
No, I mean, it's true. Everybody does have this very specific skill set on top of just being talented overall.
Yeah, Rashad G can cook and eat.
I mean, honestly, let's be honest, man. If we can get a whole segment of like, if you're able to get just like a whole segment, somebody else filming Rashad doing this, this dinner and a movie, man, like that would be hilarious, man. That would be so much fun.
I have an idea, man. I'm thinking we all should flip the script. Like, whatever we do best on our channel, somebody else should do it for us. Like, I can act like you, Rashad G can act like Cool to the Fullest or something, because I would love to do dinner and a movie, my style and do it. I think we should also like flip the script one day this year and put it out there, man. That'd be so fun, man. Like
That's,
have your intro with somebody that's coming in talking about movies, but talking like you with your cadence, doing like this with your beard, And we all are pretty good method actors. I think we can pull it off.
yeah,
But I
for
would love to
sure.
do dinner in a movie. I'm gonna make something fucked up too. I'm gonna make like peanut butter and jelly or something. Talking like Rashad G. But yeah. And then somebody got to do a skit like my man Q reviews. You
he is
know,
he is committed to some of those
yeah,
skits.
that's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow for sure. But it's funny that you say that because my friend interpreting the stars, who I've also had here on the channel a couple times,
Right.
he also has actually talked about that idea before. So like about kind of like flipping the script a little bit. So I like that for sure. Real quick before we fall behind on the comments, Try saying that he would never have met any of us through YouTube. So he's blessed for that for sure, man.
Absolutely, man.
Definitely grateful for everybody I've met through the channel. He also said, as far as the whole, staying encouraged thing, set yourself up for the smoothest and funnest way to make videos. Have your own standard, but make it fun. It's no fun to stress over video editing or views. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Like you can't let yourself get too wrapped up in the view count, which I definitely have, and it leads to no good mentality, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it just brings your whole energy down, which is just going to reflect in future videos.
I love what Q Reviews just said, man. That's dope.
Yeah, Q
Yeah, he
Reviews.
never went to school.
Yeah.
He spoke into existence, man. And man, we all have a hidden talent. And sometimes you gotta just pull it out of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Trav tries once again saying that you really just can't care about the numbers, you know what I mean? You got to remember why you started. So definitely true words. If for anybody who's watching this who is looking to start a channel, maybe you already have a channel and you feel discouraged, it's gonna be an up and down kind of thing, but you kind of got to push yourself to just not really. It's kind of like with criticism, right? Like you can take in what you can, but you can't let the people who are criticizing you control your content. You know what I mean? You just can't. It's kind of like you're going to have people who are going to have some genuine feedback on maybe like, hey, the lighting wasn't great here, or I could hardly hear you, the audio wasn't great, stuff like that, where you can take it into consideration. And then you're going to have people that comment on your videos and tell you that like something like, hey, why is George Zimmerman reviewing movies, which I got on my Passion of the Christ review.
Man, YouTube is a testing ground. I'm using it as a way to get better. I have an audience, and look, and for a lot of minorities, we didn't have opportunities like this growing up. This is prime real estate, and the pandemic, as bad as it is, I found a lot of good energy coming from it to make myself better as a human being and as a YouTuber.
Yeah.
You got to get creative, man. You got to be different from everybody else.
I couldn't agree more, man.
The big channels, they're struggling to find content. You know what I mean? They're doing the same thing we've been doing, talking about older movies. They're doing this. They're doing the same thing we're doing. They just have a bigger audience. So now we have a chance to play catch up and create our own Hollywood right here on YouTube, man. I see it happen.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, it's I definitely I can't even follow that up without saying exactly what you just said. Trap Try says that a lot of our audience will expect perfection, but we're human and we'll make mistakes and learn from it going forward. Yeah, for sure. When I just did recently, and I just had fun with it. There's nothing I could do. Sometimes, I'm sure if you guys have seen my videos, there's times where I fumble over my words and I'll kind of like zoom in on my mouth to kind of like poke fun at myself because it's just there. I remember one that made me laugh so hard that I laughed to myself for a good while about it, was when we did the review for The Mummy with Tom Cruise. And I literally came back for like, I did the whole like, all right, let's hear what Blacktastic has to say. And then I came back like, all right, thanks to Blacktastic for being in this video, blah, blah, blah. And then I got into this whole spiel about how like great you are at like not messing up and like how I like aspire to be that way. And I don't remember the exact wording, but literally the next sentence, I completely messed up, like horrible. And I zoomed in on my face on that one because it was just like, you just kind of have to. But even in one of my latest videos, I don't know, my second to last review for this season of The Mandalorian, I left in a mistake where I didn't realize it. But I mean, I was editing it like 4 a.m, and
That
I was
happens.
watching, and I was watching it back after I uploaded it. Which I usually watch it back before I upload it, but this time I didn't, and I just had made a mistake where I just kind of like looked down. I was like, "Fuck!" And then I like, then I picked up again from the beginning of the sentence, and I had to just make a comment about it in the comments. But
Man, that's priceless, man.
it
That's
reminds me
gold, man.
of the fun of this, you know.
Yeah. Perfection. Hey, it is what you make it, man. You know, sometimes your mistakes are beautiful episodes in life that got captured on camera, man. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. Like, and sometimes they make for really funny stuff, especially if you're doing vlogs or even reviews. Like having
Right.
those mistakes. I've found personally that using YouTube almost for memories has been like one of my favorite things about it. Like I love doing the reviews and all that kind of stuff, but like
Right.
when I can go back to a year or two ago now and look at these vlogs of a day that my girlfriend and I went to Disney World, or a day like when I was at
Oh
Star Wars
yeah, yeah.
Celebration or something like that, it's great, you know. Like photos are one thing, but being able to go back to these nicely edited
Video
videos,
logs, yeah.
music, yeah, it's
Because movie reviews is like music. It takes you right back to that time and space what you were doing when you seen a certain movie.
yeah.
Like when you give me projects to work on, I'm like, dude, I remember that night. I remember it takes you right back to that moment. That's how powerful film and music is, man. I love it.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, and then being able to go back to these moments, you know, in videos and just be able to revisit them. Yeah, it's kind of. I'm sure you feel similar. Maybe when you go back, like another set of videos I didn't mention earlier that I always used to love seeing you do. Obviously, right now during the pandemic, it's not so much of an option. But it was the ones where you would do like reviews or first thoughts, like on the spot, like at the theater.
Oh
Um,
yeah, live on location.
yeah, and I'm sure like
Man.
you like go back and watch those, and whoever you know you're with other people in most of those videos, and you're able to kind of just have a laugh at remembering the night, remembering how the if the popcorn was stale or not. You know
Man,
what I mean?
yeah. The last one I did was for Bad Boys for Life. And me and my homeboy went and he's in a wheelchair. I remember fucking with him. I was pushing his wheelchair real fast on the ramp. He's like, "Oh shit!" I miss doing stuff like that, man. And movies bring out the best of people because you look at my reviews for live on location, different ethnic backgrounds, male, female, and I love just get people to come onto my show, go to the movies, and talk right after the film while you're still in the theater setting and talk about the film. I miss doing those, man. And some
Yeah.
of those are funny as hell. If you ever get a chance, I did one on a Tyler Perry movie with three of my friends. I forgot the name of the movie, but man, you want to see a funny ass video? We all told that movie apart, man, right afterwards.
I
Good
gotta check
stuff,
that
man.
out.
Good stuff.
Was it one of the Medea movies, the last one that came
Wasn't a
out?
Medea movie. It was one where um they were young, they got married, he got rich, she got mad, he got remarried, she tried to kill both of them.
Oh, I think I
I
know
can't remember the
exact.
name
I
of that
know it.
movie, but
I remember the trailers for that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But if you go to my playlist for live on location, you'll find it. That one and another one is a movie they shot here in Sacramento called Traffic. And I had like three friends with me that time. That one was hilarious.
Yeah. See,
It's
but
cool to
like
have males and females together talking about a film. And when we drinking, we sipping on some syrup inside the theater already, so we're a little lit.
yeah, and it makes for great memories. It makes for being able to go back and revisit these in the moment kind of situations. Like that's kind of what I love about YouTube is you capture these moments
Yeah,
that are just on
definitely.
here. And it's not like a Snapchat or an Instagram that just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. You know, in a way it kind of can, but like it also with playlist and recommended videos, like these videos can resurface for people depending on what they watch. And like I
They
said,
do, man.
you go back
I
and watch
mean,
older videos and or see older videos and they have way more views than you even realized.
just recently, one of my favorite rappers passed away, Ecstasy from Houdini, right? And I said, how can I honor his death? Well, I have a segment called The History of Music, where I
Yeah.
tell you a little bit about the music and I do like a little lip sync in the beginning of the video. And years previous, I did one on Houdini twice, 5 minutes of funk and freeze come out at night. Well, I re-released those videos in my community. Videos are blowing up, man. Had no idea they had that many views. and it's kind of cool, man. It's just I never watched those videos. They're 2 years old. I never knew they even had that many views. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is I go back and look at some of these videos and I'm just like just random reviews that like you'd never at the time just did okay. And for me, it's like I don't know Nacho Libre with Jack Black or the Disney
Right.
2000 movie called Dinosaur. Like just these random movies that I reviewed that, especially the ones when I was reviewing movies back in my car because.
I
Uh,
remember those.
Yeah, like I had a huge chunk of time where I was just reviewing movies in my car, and it was because I didn't feel that comfort in front of like to be able to turn the camera on, knowing that there's other people in the house talking to it without feeling there was this discomfort about it, you know? So I would go and do it on my car drives, even though I knew that my mom and my sister, who I was living with at the time as well, I knew they were going to watch these videos. I knew that they were going to, give me their feedback, but for some reason I just felt that disconnect from the ability to just kind of sit
I hear you,
in
man.
my house and do it. So then I did this huge wave of my early reviews just in my car, which a lot of them turned out to be pretty good. Like what I was saying is true, is like it's still true to this day, but I wasn't as fluent in front of the camera or as comfortable. The audio isn't great. You kind of hear like the
Right.
from the car, and then it's just like I wish I could change some of that sometimes, but it's so great to go back and just kind of revisit it and to see which videos do really really
Yeah,
well.
they're classic, man. Just like
Yeah,
remember when Will Smith first started doing the Fresh Prince of Bel Air? He
yeah.
was terrible. Now he's one of Hollywood's best, highest paid actors. We all got to start from somewhere. Because
Yeah,
when the Fresh Prince started out, man, he was terrible. He was
yeah,
funny, but he was a bad actor. This dude been nominated how many times? What for Ali, and a couple other movies, right? The
yeah. I
dude
think
is
so.
phenomenal.
No, yeah, he's
So
grown to be an incredible actor. I mean, and there's so many examples of like if you look at any YouTuber, any single YouTuber, and you just go to their channel, go to videos, and click oldest, you can have a laugh at their oldest videos almost every single times because it's whether it's the way that they put their titles together or like the thumbnails
the
or the
graphics, the
yeah.
weight loss, the weight gain, the hairstyles.
Yeah, no, it's so funny because you really are just capturing somebody in the moment. You know what I mean? And there are these things about everybody's channel that it's just so it's a it's kind of like you're recognizing that you're gonna be in the kind of the same path. Your channel is gonna grow. Like right now, I'm like over 300 something videos on my channel now. When I hit 400, I'll be probably different a little bit. My videos will have a different flavor, probably maybe a little bit, maybe a little more fluid than they did 150
In the
videos
beginning,
ago,
we're projecting. Hello, welcome to my channel. All of a sudden, you get smooth. Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel. You get your little style with you. I
Yes.
noticed recently the very first collab we did, Undercover Brother. Man,
Yeah.
that video blew up. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
It got pretty big, man.
It's like over 400, I think, views or
Yeah, yeah.
something.
It's done
That
pretty
bad
good.
boy blew. I'm like, damn. And I noticed my style was different talking then, just months ago, to what it is now.
Yeah.
I'm still getting better, still getting more comfortable, man, in my own skin.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the fun journey about YouTube is just like this continuous growth, this continuous change between video to video. I
Right.
see really quickly here that Q said that his first video was trash. Yeah, my first video was like okay. It was just me talking to everybody about like, hey, this is what the goal of the channel is going to be. And then my first review, I almost considered redoing this review, but I just knew I had to leave it there as a reminder at all times. And it's my review for Venom. It's super bare bones. I don't think I put there wasn't any like footage in the video. There wasn't any posters in the video. I'm like, my mom, for some reason at the time, had her elliptical machine in the middle of the living room. So that's behind me and like just very oddly placed. And I started the video off
Oh man.
talking in a Venom voice. So I was like, "Hey guys, what's going on? We're gonna be talking about," and then I was like, "Venom," and then I did like this thing with my tongue, and I was like, and then I did like a little awkward laugh at the end, and I cut to the next clip.
I'm watching that when this is over.
I mean, the second the video started, and I didn't have like an intro like I do now, so the video starts, and I just start doing this Venom voice. Mind you, also I was like a lot lighter too. I've definitely put on some chunky chunk since then. Um, But yeah, man, it's always just so humbling to go back and see these
Oh
things.
man.
They're great memories, and it's been really, really fun looking back. I can't believe I've been on YouTube for over 2 years now, and just to feel
Yeah.
how comfortable I feel now, you're just talking to you, man. Like, and that's another thing too. It's allowed me to feel more comfortable talking to people. I've always been good talking to people, but like now with this whole random rambling thing, something that I knew thought would be a fun, good, cool challenge is to take these conversations from text in person. Almost everybody that I've done these with, like I'm gonna do one with Q Reviews soon. I told him that we're gonna be doing that soon. Probably maybe this weekend if he can. If not, we'll work it out. I was gonna hit him up soon. And like people like Q and Rashad, I had talked to before I did something here. But then like people like you or like Trav Tries, I also had talked to, but people like you or like JJ Lomas, like I hadn't
Right.
talk or interpreting the stars. I hadn't talked to you guys like in a face-to-face voice message even format. It was just mainly through text. So the
That's a
ability to
trip.
like say like after tonight, you and I have had a nearly 2 hour discussion as of right now. Just kind of being able to shoot the shit, get to know each other, and I feel like that's kind of the beauty of YouTube, and the fact that people stick around and want to be a part of the conversation and engage in it. That for me has just become the more exciting part about YouTube beyond just making content. You know what I mean? It's
That
the
says a
community.
lot about your content on your channel, brother. I'm telling you, this is a great idea. It's almost like breaking bread and fellowshipping, man. This is a cool idea.
Yeah, for sure. As he eats the Pop Tart. Let me see. We got some comments in here. I see that Rashad said that he actually deleted his first video because he was drunk and had no idea what he was doing. But it was the beginning of my channel. I wish you would have kept it or at least made it unlisted so you could send us the link.
Hey, Rashad, how me and him met, he was leaving comments on my videos way back in the day. And his picture tripped me. I'm like, man, who's this brother looking like this thing he got? I kept looking at it. I said, this brother must be pro black. And I finally got a chance to go to his channel, start checking out his content. I was like, man, this brother is cool.
Honestly, man, no, for sure. When I first saw Rashad's comments on Q Reviews videos all the time, because
Mm-hmm.
Q was probably like the first like 3 friends I made on YouTube. I can't remember who my first one was specifically, but I had met some people and this and that. But like as far as like people that I was like actually becoming friends with, Q
Yeah.
Reviews, Jacob Martin were some of the first ones. And then I met Trav Tries, and then it just steamrolled from there. I met you, I met Rashad, I met like everybody and their mother at this point. And
And Q Reviews, look at this. This brother goes to the limit on
honestly,
his videos. Remember he drank some raw eggs? I mean,
that's hilarious, man. Like
you ate something else that was crazy one time, like some raw noodles or something. I mean, man, I'm like, this dude goes in.
he ate a deep a Blu-ray disc or something at one point in
Yeah,
one of
he
his.
bit it or something.
Yeah, like too funny,
Oh
man.
yeah,
He said the
definitely,
community
man.
is my one of my favorite parts of YouTube. Yeah, man, I agree. That's why I started this channel. And sometimes whenever I have been a little blindsided by disappointment or discouragement, the real reminder of why I've done this is to build this sense of community, is to be able to sit here having this discussion with you while we have our brothers commenting. You know what I
Look,
mean?
you're in Florida. I'm in Cali. My man is in Detroit. I got another man in Cincinnati, Ohio. My other brother's out there in Florida with you, and we all communicating right now. Me and you are talking back and forth, but people are commenting. Man, technology is great, and we got to take advantage of it, man. We got to take
Absolutely.
advantage of it. We can do something great in our lifetime.
Genuinely, man. I totally 100% agree, and that's kind of that's probably one of my favorite things about YouTube is meeting everybody and being able to take these things to the next level. CQ Review said that Blu-ray disc hurt. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
man. Did you cut your mouth, man? That looked like it was tough, boy. You got some strong chompers.
We got Cool to the Fullest also saying that that yes, it is. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're referring to the community part. Yeah, no, it's been great to be able to see everybody. It's always great when I'm watching Cool to the Fullest videos and I see you pop up in
Yeah, because
there.
he used to do comedy back in the day, sketch comedy, and now he's kind of warped into really celebrating Black history, and I
Yeah,
love him for that, man. It's just there's two sides of every coin. And I like seeing both being produced and content on everybody's channel. It's really, really cool.
No, absolutely. So there's a question I've been wanting to ask you that that I was curious about.
Okay.
What made you go from the change from Blacktastic News to Blacktastic Media?
Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I made this channel. I just said Blacktastic News. So I'm bringing all this news to you, and it's fantastic. It's Blacktastic. Dude, I didn't know what I was doing. And my business is called blacktastic.net. It's like an umbrella.
Yeah.
And I have Blacktastic Books, my publishing company. And I always wanted to have a media division. So when I started the media division, I started making these short films. It was called Blacktastic Media. Blacktastic Media kind of has a ring to it. And then Instagram is Blacktastic Media. I want to make everything to be uniform. And Blacktastic News, I'm not doing too many breaking stories, you know?
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go ahead and pull my pants down in front of everybody and change my name. And that way it's just done. But it just didn't have a ring to it. Blacktastic News didn't have a ring. Now, Blacktastic Media sounds like a movie production company, which is what I'm leaning into. So when my films come out and the little camera starts up, you see Blacktastic Media, it kind of makes sense. And it rolls off your tongue better. You know, you Latin, you know how to do that. Blacktastic Media. You know, that shit sounds good, man. Roll that tongue.
For sure, man. No, yeah. I mean, I would agree that Blacktastic Media definitely sounds.
Yeah, but in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah,
Straight up.
That's part of why I didn't make a channel name. Like, I thought about names for months before I started the channel, to the point where it was holding me back from starting a channel. You know, I was thinking about calling my channel like some Star Wars things that I was like, like, I don't know if I want to call it this or that. I was gonna call it, like, I was even thinking about calling it Perez Says, and then I was just like, you know what, man, Anthony A. Perez, that's my name. Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, these guys all pull it off. I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
Yeah, because I have a company called Blacktastic, so I'm gonna keep everything under the Blacktastic, you know, logo some kind of way. And plus, I sell my T-shirts and everything. It just makes sense to keep everything uniform.
No, yeah, for sure. I totally agree. We got the Z review in here saying, "Hey guys, glad to catch the stream live for the first time. Normally only see these on the catch up. Love Blacktastic Media."
Oh, right on, man. Damn, Z, you gonna make me cry.
So the Z review is this great guy I recently just met. His name is Mike. I had him in my collab review for Gravity, starring.
Oh yeah, I did check that out.
And
love
George.
That movie.
Yeah, really good movie. I had never seen it before. Recently, just saw it for the first time, and I had Mike show up on that video. And I was actually over on his channel for I was over on his channel for the movie Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. And
okay.
Yeah, no, it was really cool to collab. We just recently met, and yeah, he's got a smaller channel, but he's trying to grow it up. And anybody who's checking out, number one, all of us, everybody who's in here, if you're a content creator and you're not subscribed to one of these names that's popping up, go give each other some love. We got food reviewers.
If you don't subscribe to these people's channels, me and Rashad G gonna get together and come whoop your ass.
Yeah, there you go.
We're gonna fly to everybody's city and just show up at your doorstep. Hold on, now I hit them. But yeah, we all got to support each other. That's where it begins. It keeps you humble, and great things are going to come, man. Great things are going to come.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel so. Like, anybody who's in here, like, support each other. We got food reviewers, movie reviewers. We got people who, you got Cool the Foolish, you know, giving us his poetry and his
right.
song videos and his celebration of Black culture. And I love that from you, Rashad, Q, Coolest to Foolish. Like, you guys all are able to do that, and I feel like we need more of that on YouTube. You know,
right? Because Rashad be breaking down politics, and that's something I stir away from. So he's a voice for me when he's speaking about politics.
Yeah,
and he's a brave soul to do it. You know, and I love him for that. That's because you can take a risk. You can mess up your channel, but you know what? He don't care. He's unapologetic about speaking his mind about politics, and I tip my hat to that brother for that. I love that.
No, yeah, I totally agree. Like, there are times where I see him upload something, and I'm like, oh man, Rashad is just he's about to get lit up in the comment sections. But then I watch his video, and I can't help but agree with what he's saying, and then I'm just like, he's speaking the truth. And
criticism is going to come. I mean, I did a video over a year ago, one of my true stories. It was called Chicanos versus the Blacks. it's still a very popular video. It's in my top 3 for months of views. And man, just 3 weeks ago, some country back Mexican from LA called me a cotton picker. Yeah, I just laugh. You know, you can't take that stuff seriously. They're on and they never show their face. You know what I mean? They never show their face, but it says, yeah, I got called a cotton picker a few weeks ago. I laughed it off, man.
Yeah,
you can't get mad.
That's all you can do. I recently did a review, maybe a couple weeks back, for this movie called The Empty Man. It was a couple months now, and it was this random horror movie that came to theaters. It's not great. It's got great parts. It's got cool elements, but the movie itself was incohesive, and it was just all over the place. And the majority of the people who watched my video, because it kind of blew up, majority of people who watched it were super they agreed and were super positive towards my video. But there was a couple people that oh, I actually really liked the movie, and were cool about their discussion, because I kind of trashed it. It was one of my few movies that I've actually really trashed. And
Right.
In this clip, or in my comment section recently, I just had this person oh, you didn't like it because you just didn't understand it. Your brain wasn't big enough to understand the movie. That was literally what they commented, was that apparently I was too stupid to understand the movie, and that's why I didn't like it. You're always gonna have people like that are just gonna drop these ridiculous comments.
That's just silly, man.
This absolutely, yeah, exactly. We got Rashad in here also saying that he appreciates us, and that they do come after him hardcore. Yeah, man, I can only imagine, man, the amount of things that you have said on camera at times, whether it's about politics or even about movies, man. Rashad has some hot takes, man. That man is a man of hot takes.
Definitely.
So, real quick, I see we got the Z Review saying, thanks for the support and love, man. Really appreciate the opportunity to collab. First video I saw of Blacktastics was the R. Kelly story. We were talking about that earlier. Made me laugh, and definitely want to collab on the channel. He also said, congrats to me for hitting 1,000. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. That's so funny. We were just talking about the R. Kelly video.
Man, I got some true stories in that motherfucker, man. He's an asshole. Let me tell you. He did a concert in Sacramento, him and LL Cool J, back in the day. And they went to the YMCA to go work out. And I used to work for UPS at the time. I was a driver for UPS. And we had a membership for our company at the YMCA. We'll go out there and do some pickup games. Make a long story short, it was me and 4 dudes against R. Kelly and his bodyguards. We beat him in basketball. And I was guarding him one-on-one, talking shit back and forth. He from Chi-Town, said, well, motherfucker, I'm from LA. See what you got. And we beat him fair and square. And this dude walked off talking shit. And we was talking mad smack. To the point we went and sat down. We was like, giving each other 5. Yeah. His bodyguard started walking over to us. I'm like, oh, man, we about to get fucked up. They said, man, don't trip. That dude's a fucking asshole. I'm like, a fucking man. But yeah, we beat him in basketball, man, him and his bodyguards, and he was talking shit. I was like, dude, this is a friendly game of basketball. But ever since then, fuck that motherfucker. Make some good music, though.
He does have a couple. He does have some music that I definitely enjoy. But
yeah, stay away from them young. That's why his ass is in prison right now, isn't he? Tax evasion, all kind of shit.
I think so. I think he's in prison. I don't know, man. The dude's an interesting cat for sure.
Well, if y'all haven't seen that video, and like I'm telling you, Rashad G inspired that video. I made a comment about R. Kelly on one of his videos. He goes, dude, I would love to hear the story about that. And that inspired me doing true stories because of Rashad G. And that video definitely was the one that kicked everything off.
That's awesome, bro. It's awesome that that's another thing too, is we get inspired by things. You actually inspired me, I should tell you. One of my upcoming videos, I don't know if it's gonna be my next video or the video after, is actually going to be an audio only video. I'm gonna be doing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have pictures up on the screen, images. I've wanted to do something like this for a while, but then seeing you do it and the way you implement the just images in to kind of reference what you're speaking about, but also it's mainly about what you're talking about. I'm gonna be doing one of those, It's going to be a new series on my channel called Let's Discuss, where I'm going to take a character from various movies or things that I enjoy.
Right
I'm going
on.
to specifically talk about that one character. So the first episode of that will be coming out very soon on Darth Maul. I'm going to be doing a whole video on the character of Darth Maul from Star Wars, breaking down my thoughts on his character through the Phantom Menace to the Clone Wars to Rebels to Solo, a Star Wars story, and maybe drizzle in some, comic book talk and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you definitely inspired that for me. So it's always
Right
great
on.
to see how we all kind of individually kind of support and
It's funny how
inspire.
that got started because the film I'm filming right now, Sarah, there's going to be heavy voice acting in that movie. I'm playing one of the main characters and I'm a ghost. So my voice, I've been kind of trained to disguise my voice and to play a character. And I'm telling you, man, when you're not in front of the camera and you're just talking, you get better. I notice my videos I do that are commentary are way more funnier than the ones I do when I'm looking at the camera. Because you
Yeah,
get to like move your hands and be expressive. You don't care what you look like. I noticed the Nightmare on Elm Street ones really do well on your channel because, man, we get to just go crazy. And
yeah.
you add images and people get used to your voice. And I'm telling you, you would make less mistakes because you're not worried about the camera.
I'm
Trust me.
sure. I believe it. I believe it. Because even with the live streams, man, I've noticed that and maybe it's because it's a conversation and it feels a little bit more natural, but I've noticed that I'm way better. Even when I've done the live streams on my own, I feel like I'm way more
Mm-hmm.
comfortable when I'm doing something like a live stream. And it's funny. It's all a psychological thing. Like sometimes you're just gonna make mistakes, right? But like it's all a psychological thing because right here, I think I'm subconsciously I'm aware of the fact that the camera is rolling and there is no editing this. I have to be on, I have to be talking to you. If I let a moment happen where I'm awkwardly just like the audience is going to be looking at it, it's going to be cringe, it's still live, and you can't just end the broadcast midway. You kind of got to bounce off of it and keep going. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, no, I definitely agree with you. It's like I'm looking forward to doing the audio only videos because
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
you know,
dope.
there'll be visuals to kind of play off of that the audience
Yeah.
can have a good time with. But it's really going to mainly be about what I'm saying about these individual characters. So I am looking forward to doing Let's Discuss. As I'm getting further into my channel, I'm realizing, all right, so I haven't done a vlog in a minute, which I do want to do. I want to do a vlog, but I want to make my channel. I'm thinking I've been talking to somebody the same guy who did my intro, the visuals for my intro. I've been
Uh-huh.
talking to him to possibly get a new intro done soon. That will remove the movies, TV, and Star Wars portion of my thing. Not because not because it's leaving my channel, just because I want this channel to be just Anthony A. Perez. I'm gonna make it what I want to. Am I gonna talk
There you
about a movie
go.
today? Or am I gonna talk about a character today? Am I gonna talk about a TV show? Or am I gonna do a vlog? Or am I gonna do any of the various things, supercuts, all these kinds of things? Like I love the ability for YouTube to be this bigger thing, which is why I admire like your channel with Blacktastic Media. Blacktastic Media can be everything and anything that you want it to be, and it doesn't
Yeah,
have
you
to be
don't
molded
want
into
to
one thing.
paint yourself into a corner.
Exactly.
That's what I try to tell people because, you know, if you're just doing reviews, you paint yourself in the corner because doing reviews might get old one day because everybody's doing them.
Yeah.
And we're all multi-talented, because I know Q Reviews will be making some short films. He got him some new equipment. And my man, he has an eye for cinema.
For
And I want to
sure.
work with him on a project, do something together. And Rashad G, there's nothing he can't do. Cool to the fullest, there's nothing he can't do. I notice now you're like, no, I'm gonna dip my toe in this, I'm gonna dip my toe in that. And to hear that you changed up the intro, that's growth. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly be changing things out. I'm working with the guy who did the music for my channel, the intro and the outro music. It's a good friend of mine named Giano Joel, who's incredibly talented. His music is in a lot of those supercut videos I did, some of the earlier ones.
That dude's amazing.
Dude, he's crazy talented. He has an album that just recently came out. I'm gonna have him on one of these random ramblings, and he's just a super like he's a super passionate guy, and he's also really helpful. And for compared to super big composers, he's fairly affordable. So like if you're ever looking for somebody to score a movie or something like that, man, he's always open into new projects and stuff like
Man,
that. And
Great to hear, man. We're all going to work together, man. Trust me. I feel it in my
for sure,
bones, man. It's only a matter of time.
it really is,
And
man.
people are taking notice of our talent, man. I'm at least do a short film each year until somebody really big pays attention because it's happening. I mean, I got a cousin that works in Hollywood who writes professional scripts. So we're not that far away from being picked up and noticed by somebody big. We got to just keep at it, and they want to see growth with each project. Before you know it, man, hopefully we'll be walking on that red carpet one day, drinking some beer, having a good time, watching one of our own joints on the big screen. That'll be fun.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, no, it's been just great to be able to have these moments of like seeing the growth of all of our channels and the
Yep.
growth of our content and and the quality of the content. I should also say too, because we have everybody here, you know, at least some of the main squad. One other thing that I'm looking to do to start to incorporate more people into these, I did another one of these not too long ago for a spoiler discussion on The Mandalorian with Rashad and with JJ Lomas, and
Okay.
that was a lot of fun. And I want to start doing that where I have other people on as well, like more than just one person. I like these because they're intimate. I think I want to try to do at least one regular random rambling with everybody that I can, at least one time where it's just a singular
There
discussion,
you go.
and then start to add in like like doubles and stuff like that. But one thing I'm looking forward to really doing is I've thought about maybe kind of starting kind of with this same format but with more people. Maybe like a game show kind of idea.
There you go, man.
Where yeah, where we would have like maybe you and Rashad, or you, Rashad, and Q, or add in whatever name you want. And I would hit you guys with questions ahead of time that you guys would send me your answers for ahead of time, so make sure that you guys didn't all say the same thing. And then
Oh
you guys
yeah,
have to, I don't know,
that's
let's
a
say
good
it was like,
idea.
what's your favorite superhero movie of all time, and then you guys would have to individually defend your choice, and even if you love the other person's choice, you have to defend your choice over
Yeah,
everybody
I like
else's.
that idea.
Yeah, look, I said Q review said let's do a horror game. That's something I thought about too. Like
That
it'd
would
be
be dope.
be something like name your favorite horror film or your favorite horror like character, like killer or slasher, and then
Yeah.
you have to defend your point, and it will be about the arguments. You know what I mean? It would be specifically
Oh
about the
yeah,
arguments. And
yeah.
so then we'd have maybe somebody come in to watch as like a judge, or maybe have like a person or two come in as a judge to make the decision from an unbiased standpoint. That it's like, hey, like you may have chosen the option I would have chosen, but Q Reviews argued his choice way better than you. You know what I mean? Like
There you
that's
go.
I feel like it'd be really fun. I want to start doing something like that. Just add more fun stuff to the channel. And it's called Anthony A. Perez, but if I can make this about everybody as a community, I feel like that's where I'm having the most fun. And literally, my next review, once again, it's a review for the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey, and that's gonna have my buddy Jacob Martin in it. I got Rashad hitting me soon with the review for Freddy's Dead. We're gonna be doing Freddy's Dead together. I don't worry, I made him go through that one. I didn't want to have to make you go through that another bad one.
Oh man.
But I got so many collabs coming. I'm gonna be hitting you up soon. I've been going through my thumbnails, and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, like I'll look through my thumbnails and be like, maybe I'm gonna send Blacktastic this one and that one. I'm gonna sleep on it, and then I'm like,
I'm
all right,
always down. Shoot,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch Soul this week coming up. Well, this week, like I said, tomorrow's my Friday. That'll be one of my next videos. Then New Year's Day, I'm dropping episode 4 of Compton is My City. And after that, who knows, man? I don't have nothing pre-planned. I'm working on right now. It's like a downtime for me shooting my film,
Yeah,
but I'll be doing some other stuff here coming up here pretty soon, man. But what
yeah,
I'm gonna
for sure.
do, always be a fan of everybody's channel, and I'm gonna support you guys' videos. You see me popping up, giving it a comment and stuff like that, man, because you started something here on your channel that I'm meeting more people, and that's cool. I really dig that.
Yeah,
Same thing
man.
with everybody else's channel. We're all starting to collaborate and support each other. So sometimes take 3 or 4 days off just to support each other and make a video later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's why I'm adamant about throwing stuff on the watch later, because I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna I'm gonna support every single video from all my friends, like for 100%, like all these people. Like I might take a couple. It may take me a couple weeks to get up to the most recent video, and you will already have new videos that are now on my watch later. But I'm gonna watch them. I had Trav Tries hit me up one day, just saying like, "Man, like I was wondering, you watch my videos all in order?" I'm like, "Yeah, it just takes me a little bit, but I'll get to them for sure." I see that Q Reviews is like that he wants Freddy's Dead. Hey, if you want in on Freddy's Dead, man, I'll message you after the show. We can definitely make that happen.
Man, y'all gonna tear that mug up. I can't wait to see that.
That's
My
an
man
interesting
Q
movie.
Reviews made a comment on your channel about Wonder Woman. It said, "Man, the plot from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 was better than Wonder Woman."
I laughed so hard when I saw that because I was just thinking to myself, dude, come on. Listen,
Man.
it's not nearly that bad. That's a bad movie.
Oh, the Dream Trial. Man, that was a fun review to do, man. I had so much to talk about. Oh my God. But yeah.
That's the
I couldn't
best
see
part
that
about
video. If you guys do that when Freddy's Dead, because that one, I have no words for it.
I'm excited to get Freddy's Dead done and just move on to the better ones. I really like New Nightmare and Freddy's versus Jason. I can't wait to talk about those movies.
Yeah.
But Freddy's Dead, oh my God, what a slog to sit through, man.
I went opening night, man. Me and my homeboy, we was like, we looking at each other like, really? This is how it ends? Man, fuck this movie.
Honestly, man, like this as a finale to the series, a finale to his character, like like just everything about that movie is just rough. And I mean, probably the most standout, like what the hell is going on, is the whole thing where Freddy's like controlling the guy as a video game. He's bouncing up and down with the Looney Tune sound effects. I'm just like, dude, man, like what did they do to Freddy? How did we get here? How in the world did we get to this
Freddy
point?
wasn't scary no more. They made him a clown.
Yeah, after the third movie, they just shit the bed. And then I think New Nightmare was the first time that Freddy was actually scary again, even though it's like a different kind of vibe. And then they had fun with it with Freddy versus Jason, but he's still kind of eerie and creepy. Like that movie's just epic and fun to watch. Like it's just it's cheesy. Movie, yeah. There's weird stuff like the Freddy caterpillar that takes a hit from the bong. That's like, what the hell? Who put that scene together? But the rest
somebody hitting the bong who wrote it. That's what happened.
Pretty much.
Probably look at the caterpillar on the windowsill going, "Hey, that's a good idea."
Yeah, no, it's that was a very strange moment in the movie, but yeah, I love that so much. Let's see right here, we got some comments. Q Review saying, "Is it though?" regarding the plot. We got Trav Tries saying, "By the way, Yes Man, literally one of my favorite Jim Carrey films." Yeah, I love Yes Man. I think it's like a very underrated Jim Carrey film, so I'm looking forward to talking about that a lot. Q saying, "Can I tell you the truth? I was more disappointed in Rise of Skywalker than Freddy's Dead." Damn. No way, bro. Q, bro, that's exaggeration. Come on, bro. Freddy's Dead has almost no.
Q is a sniper. God damn. Woo, brother. That'd be a great debate. That's a great debate.
That's gonna be part of the game show. What movie disappointed you?
I can understand this point. I mean, I know he loves Freddy, but Jason's his favorite character. But like me and you and Rashad was talking earlier, they should have ended the Skywalker saga with Return of the Jedi. It was the perfect ending for the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, Q Reviews are gonna tear that shit up. I see it coming.
Oh yeah, he's about to rip into that movie for sure. Even Cool to the Foolish have to say wow. Malik with the skull emojis, and Rashad just reminded me that Q is fucking with me. We had a whole big spoiler discussion about Rise of Skywalker when it first came out, but as Malik says right here, yeah, Return of the Jedi is definitely the ending. Like I really love the Rise of Skywalker. I really enjoyed that movie, but yeah, they should have ended it with the Return of the Jedi. Q Review saying the whole Star Wars saga to end like that. I waited my whole life for the Rise of Skywalker.
Real talk. That's real talk, man.
Yeah, man.
He's an OG like me. He's been to the theaters opening night on all those Star Wars movies. For it to end like that, Hando, buddy, you let me down. It was bad, man.
Yeah,
It
I
had
mean,
its moments. It had its moments.
it
But
definitely had its moments. I think for me,
dude, you
I
got
still love the
horses
film.
running on a starship in space. How does that work?
Well, they weren't. They technically weren't in space. They were in. They were still within the atmosphere. But I get what
Okay,
you're saying.
well,
Yeah.
Perez, I'm not going to argue that with you, man. I know you know your shit. But I've seen horses on a starship in space. But yeah, you got a point.
No, yeah. I think for me, man, with that movie, I think they, despite the criticisms of The Last Jedi, they should have just let Kylo Ren be the main villain of the last movie and really have made it about his redemption story. And
There
you
you
know,
go.
he should have been alive at the end. I would say too, like almost in a way, like maybe like I don't know, with Ray, or you could do a lot of things, but everything from the kind of like, is Ray and Finn gonna get together? Oh no, that doesn't happen. Is Finn gonna get with Rose? Oh, that doesn't happen either. Then Ray gets with Kylo, even though she called them a monster in the last two movies, literally called them a monster in both Force Awakens
Yeah.
and The Last Jedi. And this one had beautiful cinematography, beautiful action, but the whole Palpatine thing just felt so
That was
crammed in
bad.
there. It just felt like it didn't feel like the natural progression of the story. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Yeah.
they missed the mark a little bit on just like, I feel like they just tried to jam in too much, man. Like all these characters that don't matter, Zori Bliss and stuff that was cool, but it's just like, man, this really should have been about the core characters that have already been set
It
up in the
wasn't
last
it
two
wasn't
films.
cohesive the last three films. They have some elements that I like, but that finale in Return of the Jedi, it was, whether you like Ewoks or not, that was a perfect ending, man. I
Yeah.
mean, who didn't cry? Come on,
Honestly,
man.
I mean, just from the moment of like with the music and everything, from the second that we get that shot of Luke burning Vader, and then everything we see from then on to that final shot of the whole gang sitting there, that is
Thank you.
the perfect ending to Star Wars. I always thought to myself, even before Rise of Skywalker came out, I already knew. I go, there's no way they're going to be able to top that
No.
ending, because even with the prequels being added on after the fact, it still wrapped up all six films beautifully. And
It
as
still
a Star
ended
Wars
with
fan like
Return of the Jedi, yeah.
yeah, and as a Star Wars fan like myself who reads the books and comics outside of the stories, I know that we're gonna get more Rey and stuff stories in the books and all that jazz past the Rise of Skywalker. So it's kind of like it's just part of the story, but at the same time, as a finale to the film saga, yeah, it definitely it wasn't as good as The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And as I
Nope.
look at the trilogy, for me, The Force Awakens was the best one in the trilogy, in my
Easily.
opinion. And
Easily. Easily.
it's
I
a bummer
mean,
that it
to
didn't live
see
up
the
to that.
Falcon fly again was enough for me.
Yeah.
That's my favorite spaceship besides the Enterprise. You see that thing take flight again was incredible, man.
I mean, and just the excitement
Yeah.
leading up to the movie, like the hype, the excitement, the anticipation, the sitting in that theater, because every moment felt like it was like beautifully crafted for you. Like that, the whole thing of, what about that one? That one's garbage. It's like the garbage will do, and then they turn the way
Yeah.
the camera turns, and the whole audience was like, "Oh no!" Oh, so
And I
good, man.
love the new droid. He was
Yeah,
a cool character. How he just rolled. He was cute. BB-8.
yeah.
He was a cool droid, man. It had a lot of good elements. It's just, oh man.
They could have done more with it. We got Malik's here saying that he would have loved to have seen a full powered evil Kylo. Yeah, I think that would have been the
Yeah.
way to go. Uh, if Rise of Skywalker left a bad taste in your mouth, check out the Clone Wars and Rebels. That he's in season 2 of the Clone Wars, and yo,
You're
that is
right.
freaking Star Wars. So good, man.
Yep.
If you guys have not seen the animated Star Wars stuff, people are like, "Oh, they're cartoons. They're for kids." No, there's
Dude,
so
they're
much
epic.
more there.
They're
So much more there.
epic.
They really are. Malik says, "Yeah, I agree. I would admit I did give up on Rebels in the first season. Season 2 and forward definitely brought me back." Um, yeah, man. Those the season
I have
2
to
and
admit, I
beyond.
have not seen Rebels, but I have seen the Clone Wars, but I have not seen Rebels yet.
I
So
highly recommend the Rebels. It's a great follow up to the Clone Wars while also giving us new characters and new story.
okay.
The first season, similar to the first season of the Clone Wars, is a little bit more on the younger audience side. With some drizzlings of that classic Star Wars. But
Yeah.
man, after that, the storytelling gets so rich and so deep and so lore heavy. They really don't dumb it down for kids whatsoever.
I'm about to peep that out.
Yeah, definitely got to. Q review saying Faxant trying to please everyone. You can blame Ryan Johnson for that. JJ tried to clean it up, but it may have needed more time. That Luke and Mando, though. Yeah, so I don't blame Ryan Johnson personally. I think he tried to do something different and new, but I think that the attempt to try to clean it up rather than just playing off of it was where the mistakes came in my eyes. But yeah, that Luke and Mando was just epic.
It just sounded like there was some inner fighting going on with directors, producers, and Kathleen Kennedy should have cleaned that shit up a long time ago, but it was too late. She would get a director, fire him, get a director, fire him, make a half a movie, you got to reshoot it again. That happened not once, dude, twice.
Yeah,
that's messy. But thank God for the Mandalorian, cleaning a lot of shit up. So.
Yeah, it seems to be like the one thing in Star Wars in a long time, even including the prequels or even the Clone Wars, that has just from the very beginning has had incredible fan reception.
Feels like Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars.
It's beloved by everybody right now, and even the people who even the people who are hating on it, there's so few and far between, and they usually don't have like overly great criticisms. It's just like they don't like it because they don't like it, and that's fine. You don't have to like it. If you don't like Star Wars, you don't like Star Wars. But
yeah,
it's
great. Get it, or it's a popular thing to do. They hate what everybody likes. I do pay attention to that kind of crap too, so
for sure. We got Malik saying, how do you guys feel about them writing Aisha out of Cobra Kai? So I will say really quickly, I have not seen a single episode of Cobra Kai.
Third single.
I haven't seen a single episode at all of the show. I love the Karate Kid films. It's just one of those shows that when it was on YouTube TV, I just never got around to it. Yeah. And then it hit Netflix, and everybody like raved about it and said how good it is. And I just haven't gotten to it yet.
I've seen season 1 twice. I'm at the ending of season 2. Another thing I'm gonna do this week, along with Soul, I'm gonna watch season 3. But man, Cobra Kai is addicting. I love that.
That's what I'm hearing, man. I'm hearing it's fantastic. I got to get on it for sure. Like that's one that I keep hearing really good things about, and I've just slacked. I see here Malik is like, oh, my bad. I don't want to spoil anything for you. You're good, man. You're good. At the end of the day, this show is popular, and I've heard about it, and I just haven't gotten around to it, so it's kind of my fault.
It's like 80s movie making all over again for TV. It's great, man. I love it. Yeah, I keep hearing that season 3 is the best yet. I'm like, whoa. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, yeah, like every season has had incredible reviews, and I don't know a single person who's told me they watched Cobra Kai and didn't like it. So for them to continually keep the writing and the quality of the show at such a heightened level, even from somebody who hasn't seen it, just as somebody who's a fan of the Karate Kid films, it's pretty awesome. I can already tell that it's good too. It's one of those shows that you look at and you're like, I know that's good. I'm currently in the middle of rewatching Lost for my 4th time, the show from the early 2000s.
I remember that back in the day. J.J. Abrams produced.
Yeah. My girlfriend has never seen it before, and so I'm sitting her through it, and she's loving it, and I'm rewatching it now. So I might have to hop on that right afterwards, but I see Q Review said, make sure you get some beer. I'm assuming I need beer for Cobra Kai. And then Malik said that once you start to watch, you'll be caught up within 2 days. That's what I keep hearing.
Each episode is short. It's like 30 minutes. It's only like, 8 to 10 episodes per season. Okay, so, man, give it a good weekend. You'll be caught up.
All right, cool. Good to know. But hey, man, listen, I'm looking at the time. I got a couple things to take care of here. This was the longest one I've done of these. We're almost over 2.5
hours. Records. We're in the books, brother.
Craziness, man. Well,
man, it was my pleasure. To everybody, a shout out to came through and supported my man's channel and this conversation. This is only the beginning, so get used to this face and this face over here, man. We got a lot of things we're gonna do together.
Absolutely, man. No, it's an absolute honor to have you on. I look forward to having more people on as time goes on. People who have YouTube channels and not, and even people who don't have channels, because I'm at a place now where these discussions this is about to be cemented on YouTube, you know, like when we can look back on it and remember these moments. And this is the first of many of these, man. And I definitely look forward to, whether it's through the game shows or another random rambling that I have you on with somebody else or whatever the case may be. Genuinely, man, thank you for your continued support to me as a creator.
Oh, yeah.
You know, showing up in my collabs and doing stuff like this. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great to be a part of all this with everybody who's been commenting and watching today. So to all of you guys that are watching this episode, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, whether you watch it now live or you're watching it after the fact. I genuinely appreciate it. The link to Blacktastic's channel is down below in the description box already. It's been there this whole time, so please go give him some love. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel. And to you, my friend, any final words, anything you want to plug, anything you want to say to everybody before we go?
Man, one thing I noticed about this particular ramblings that you had tonight, I think we helped a lot of people tonight with our conversation.
For sure.
People that are going through ills with YouTube or doubting themselves. I think we talked on a lot of subjects tonight. A lot of our listeners and subscribers would take away from this conversation and be better YouTubers from this. I'm proud of this conversation we had, man.
Really as am I, man. For sure. Anything you want to plug on the channel? Anything you want people to know about?
Oh, like I said, Soul will be coming out soon. New Year's Day. Compton is my city, episode 4, and it's gonna be crazy, man. I interviewed some crazy sons of bitches down there in LA. You're gonna be tripping. But yeah, that's it. I'm out. Anthony, you are the man. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thanks, man. All right. Well, to all of you guys, thank you so much for watching again, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys again, and bye-bye.